Hello and welcome!
Wow!
We are Small and Mighty, and today we're going on an adventure.
Are we?
How are we all doing, guys?
Good.
Very well.
You excited?
Very well.
Yes.
Good.
Time for a new chapter.
New chapter begins. Who knows what madness awaits you? Or what madness awaits me, as I don't know what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
That way around.
That's what I was gonna
Probably
say.
more accurate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Yes, well, you might see that we are unfortunately down to Ryan because he's off in America doing American things.
Oh,
Having a nice holiday. How dare
A nice holiday / work trip / whatever in America.
It's a tough life, but someone's got to spend
Someone
time
has
in
to
New
go.
York.
Yeah.
I know.
So I'm really proud of him for taking one for the team. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small and mighty delegation to America.
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
It's a weird thing that's written in the contract. We don't know why we put it there, but we did. Actually, I think Ryan stipulated that someone had to go every year. And it's like, oh guys, I'll take the bullet for the team this year. I'll go to America. It's like, oh, okay, sure. Yes. No, we are down to Ryan today, so that's fine. When necessary, I will take the role of Brask.
Neat.
I think Will has frozen. Oh no, we've just been
It's just
very still.
I'm just very stoic.
He's
Clearly.
stealthier than the character that he plays.
Basically.
Just getting into the zone.
Yes,
Cool.
Chad the Stoic.
That's a
Cool.
vibe.
So, we will play today for about 2 to 3 hours, short break in between, but as always, and as evidenced by us going live late, who knows what's really going to happen. This is D&D, this is improv, so don't hold us too tightly to those timings.
Good.
Cool. So I have it down at the inspiration token. Tali, you have it for your decisive actions last time in the rescue of Bachard and just dealing with the situation going on around there.
It was successful. We did good.
Was successful.
Somehow. It was
Somehow, against many odds and a lot of back-to-back rolls, but by using use of some clutch spells, you did pull it off. Which that nicely segues me into the recap question. So, yeah, so obviously we picked up with the last session with this tense situation. You were down in the Mess's base in these sort of abandoned tunnels, and although you had up until that point been very effective and very stealthy when you were on the base, there was a slight trip up which had alerted Splinte to your, made Splinte aware of your location. Trying to take back control of the situation, Splinte picked up Bachard, had a gun to his head, and held him hostage. You, however, were able to you were able to save Bachard by using a few. I've jumped ahead of a question. That's not what I was going to say.
Nice.
This is the first time you saw Splinte properly up close. Tali and Pebble, you'd spotted from afar. This was the first thing you saw him up close, and there was something unusual about his appearance. What was it?
Oh, ding ding.
Go on.
He's a bit fishy.
He's a bit fishy.
He's
What a fishy guy.
got a fish eye
Both
lens.
physically and metaphorically. Yes. So
Physically.
you saw
Yeah.
he had this fish eye. Underneath that scar on his left side eye was a fish eye, and around it was that kind of graying skin that you've seen a few times now. Yeah, taking control of the situation, Splinte did kind of walk towards you so that Bachard was always in sight, while the crow, Jenny Adler, apparently, or Esper, as she's also been called, fled the situation. You, however, did manage to get Bachard safely out of Splinte's grasp using 2 particular clutch spells. Do you remember what those spells were?
I do.
Oh,
Go on. Well, no, one from Sarah, one from Will. Go on, let's do it this way.
Okay. I won't do my one because that feels like cheating.
Okay.
One of them was
Oh, I'll do your one. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
one happened first?
Lovely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first, it was it was some form of protection. It was sanctuary,
Sanctuary, exactly that
Which-
one, yes.
which stopped him. It wasn't like a physical barrier, but it just sort of like he was about to go and shoot him, and he just went, "No, I'm going to shoot Brask instead." Much better outcome.
Yeah, so there was one point when he was going to shoot Bachard, but because of the Sanctuary spell, he was forced to shoot another target, which obviously saved him from that. And then the actual spell that got him out of Splinte's grasp was what? Go on,
So,
Sarah.
vortex warp.
Yes, Pebble's use
from
of
Pebble.
vortex
Yeah,
warp.
Yeah.
I did.
Uh,
I was
a
a good
brilliant
boy.
spell which you just basically sucks him out of the hat, the grasp of Splint, and he arrives safely off to the side. Yeah, and obviously having the situation change dramatically, he did start to flee. Both him and the crow started to flee. At this point, the crow, however, was already running towards the train and did jump on the train. It was chased down by Tali and Pebble, and Tali, you decided to attack the train carriages to disconnect the cargo carriages, which prevented the crow from escaping. True or false?
False.
Very false.
False. What actually happened?
Well, we disconnected it with magic. We punched the train. The train, like part of the train disconnected, it rolled over to its side. Then there was an explosion, and then basically the front of the train pulled away, so like the crow couldn't keep jumping back across the attached carriages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, you did disconnect part of the train, preventing the cargo carriages from being taken away. However, it did not prevent the crow from escaping, as she was on the front half of the train when it happened. I thought I'd throw a true or false question there for a change to see how you took that one.
She in my head canon, she went, "I'll get you next time,
Yes.
small and mighty."
Yeah,
As she
exactly
left.
in that voice as well.
yeah, absolutely.
Lovely.
If it wasn't
Yes.
just reporting back at Messer HQ, if it wasn't for those meddling kids
yeah.
Yes.
pulling off the mask.
Neat.
Yeah, so after losing hold of Bachan, Splint also attempted to flee, but was quickly overwhelmed by Chad and Brask. He surrendered himself and very quickly started divulging information about the Messers in order to save his own bacon, essentially. Clearly showing he didn't have overly particular loyalty to the Messers.
Mhm.
Now, he told you quite a few things, so all I want this time is just give me at least 3 examples of things that he told you.
Ding.
Oh, say again.
Oh, what was that?
Ding.
Oh, ding.
So
Yes.
it's quite specific, but we found out the eye, he said, was a gift from the Abyssal Sea.
Wow.
Yes. So the eye, he called it a Mysal controller, and also referred to the worm that you found in the other agent called a Mysal worm, and said they were gifts from the Abyssal Sea. You learnt that it created a psionic network that allowed various forms of communication across Messer agents, and in particular, a Mysal controller could hear through someone who had a Mysal worm in them. So that's one thing you did learn.
I imagine it being spelled. Obviously, it's not, but my soul TM controller.
Not
And it
quite.
controls my soul. No, yeah.
How do you spell it?
MYSL, Mysal, and then controller. Like the word controller. And worm is WURM.
Oh.
I'll put it in chat if you're interested. I'll put it in chat so you can see it.
I'm gonna create like a large text and put worm like on top of the tree. I'm not gonna do that.
I do have another example of something we learned.
Yeah, go.
That the grey mark comes from exposure to Ica.
True.
Yes. Yes, so he referred to the grey mark as being called grey mark. And typically speaking, it comes from exposure to Ica, as was the case with Dimitri you saw. But obviously you have now started to see it in other places in reference to the Mysal worms and Mysal controllers.
That comes from the Abyssal Sea, which is where Ica comes from. So
Which is where
maybe
it
it's
could
all
come
the
from.
same, yeah.
So obviously is a quite an easy connection between the two subjects. The other thing on that subject is that he, using Troll's blood, which you obviously found that he collected, had invented a cure to expunge the grey mark from his system. Which is probably why he only had the one patch around his eye, and not as much as you saw with Nura, for example, the Messer agent you interrogated before, who had a lot more over her body. That's 2 things. Anything else you learned?
I have a thing.
Okay.
If no one else says something. Here's that painting. The painting, the Bring the Dawn painting, which is of
Yep.
an
Oh, yeah.
Alfonso.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, that was a less important thing we've learned. Well, maybe.
That's a
No, I mean,
bonus.
it's
And
not-
that
it is
fancy red
important.
sword that hasn't been seen since he
Yes.
went missing, died in Brattonshire, whatever happened.
Yes, so there was a painting of Erdnir Messer in battle, in the painting apparently of the Battle of Ostwith Fields, shouting his famous battle cry, "Bring the Dawn," but more importantly, wielding a sword called the Crimson End, a blood red sword which seemed familiar to Tali, although the actual blade itself looked different, a different style of weapon. And neither him nor that weapon had been seen since he was essentially MIA in battle when he was attacking Brattonshire. Yeah, so there's a few things he learned. He also divulged some extra information, which we can come into later, but good work.
Cool.
The last question is, midway into telling you all this information, something happened to Splint to suddenly shut him up. What was it?
Oh, he got a little bit absent-minded. Not the.
I like it. That's a great way of
Yeah.
describing brain
Like-
dead.
Yeah, he got
What a
brain
euphemism.
dead.
Name a vegetable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember specifically how it was described, out of interest? Not I will
Oh.
re-explain. You are correct, but
There was like was there a noise? It's to totally do with the Mytho controller, right? Like
Yeah,
amazing
it
someone
was-
there was like a pop or something, right? And like
yeah, you saw across the eye there was a crack, almost like glass,
that's the one, yeah.
and suddenly he just stopped moving. Which I think at the time I said implied that if there's a hierarchy of Mytho
We did a
1
medicine
controller,
check, yeah.
Hmm.
You think there might be something above that. Cool, well done. So, we will come back into this in a second, but just one last thing. So, as it is a brand new chapter, and in the last chapter you leveled up, Chad and Pebble, we still need to roll for your HP. So we're going to
Yeah.
do that right now. We're going to do it
Wow.
live. So,
Oh my god.
Chad, I need you to roll a
We'll do it
D10.
live!
Pebble, I need you to roll a D6. If you roll a 1, you can roll again. But otherwise, you get what you get.
Na. Wow! I rolled a magnificent number 3.
3, excellent. So yes, go on in, Nebion, add that to your roll HP. What did you get, Chad?
I rolled a 6.
Good number, above
Pretty
average.
good.
So
Hmm?
let's pop that up to. Excellent.
Wait,
Chad
rolled
is,
Oh, right, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Chad's doing well stats wise, guys. I have to say, he's
a
having
good
a
boy.
good time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good.
Cool. Right, now, and the reason why we're not rolling if anyone's interested for Tali and Christina is, Tali, we did yours off stream, because we did that before I had the idea of rolling on stream, which we'll do going forward. And we've got something going on with Christina. We haven't quite decided what you're leveling up into yet. There might be a multi-class on the cards, so we'll settle that first, and then we'll roll later. Okay, now bring it back into the story. So we're going to pick up exactly where we left off. You are in the tunnels. You have the now brain-dead Splint in front of you. Tali, there is this alchemical workshop around. There's still bubbling containers going off. This kind of silence fills the tunnels as you can hear the last remnants of the echoing of the train leaving the tunnels ahead of you. And there is, of course, a derailed, like 9 or 10 carriages of cargo that was supposed to be sent off to Fort Erlington. Now, I don't want to spend too long in the tunnels, so I'd like to get you guys back to the Five Fellas soon, but what are you doing? What you're doing here? Like, are you picking things up? Are you moving on?
Oh yes, things.
Go.
But I think the first thing Tali would say probably to Chad is like, Chad, we should move him. Gestures at Splint. You know, these things in their heads can, you know, see, hear. Like I know he's. I don't know what's happened here, but we don't know if they can still hear us. So we should just move him to
Yup.
another part.
Yeah.
The room.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Probably best. Are there any? Chad's gonna sort of say yeah, but he's kind of like sort of. He's got yeah. Be absentmindedly sort of looking around for some kind of bag to put over his head.
Oh,
Roll me a
nice.
perception check.
Let's see. Help fired. Preempted that. Perception. 7.
7. Luckily, because you're in the kind of warehouse situation, the DC was only 5.
Oh,
you
wow.
do find like there's like a tarp. It's not you're looking for like a
Great.
bag that hasn't been used, and initially you're like, where's the bag? And then you kind of curse you that use a lot of these cargo things are like tied down with tarps that you can easily sort of cut off and then repurpose for a wrapping a body up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have access
He's
to
not
that.
dead.
No, he's not dead, but Chad's gonna be like, yo,
We're not killing
I don't
him.
think we should. No, I'm not killing him. I don't think we should leave him here.
No, I agree.
Might as
We
well also
can't
don't-
have anyone see where he's going.
Question for the DM.
Yeah.
In the city,
Mm-hmm.
do the Abbey run like a shelter, like a homeless shelter, like a place for the poor or the sick or the?
So, not the homeless, as has kind of been pointed out in previous. Like the homeless do just live in low bank under bridges and stuff. Like Chad obviously went, and you spent time like looking after them. So, not the homeless. In terms of the sick, yes, they probably would do. It is for certain citizens only. I will put it quite vaguely. However, from what you can tell, Splinte obviously he used to be an emissary to Riverdan and stuff like that. He is obviously a well-to-do noble. He is the kind of person who probably would receive medical aid.
Yeah, like the one place for like the infirm kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like you've not seen the place in Brattonshire in particular, in Dowbridge in particular, but there definitely would be places like that. It would be inside the inner city, behind the walled part of the city. So.
Oh, so it'd be quite far away. Like we couldn't get there.
Not that you couldn't get there. You'd have to travel a while. Like there's a gate, and not that you guys have done it yet, but like. You have to pay a toll to get through the gate. There are guards who inspect your wares potentially if you're a merchant. They're not impossible, but there are some hurdles to cross if you wanted to go down that route.
Okay, well, it's Talia kind of relays like we need he can't take care of. I don't know if he can take care of himself. We need to take him to a place. There are the Abbey. There's some places where the Abbey will take care of people like this who are unwell, but probably a bit further into the city. So I don't know. We could take him there. It might take a little while.
I'll also point out, just because I've suddenly remembered, there's a knocked out messer agent and the one who's in the net as well, who's still there.
I got it.
You can just hear from further down the platform. Just hear, hello, hello.
We'll come to him in a second.
Yeah, sure. We'll get to you.
Okay.
Give me a second to think about it. Yeah. Chad's nodding. Chad agrees. Chad's thought processes, and he's this is. Can we talk away from? We don't know if people are still. If
This is what I'm saying. We should move him to somewhere where.
yeah, let's move him briefly, and we'll
Maybe
figure
put
out
him on
what
the
to do with him.
platform, maybe.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
It's gonna shift
You
him
know,
away.
there's several rooms in this place. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
for example, Bachard is in that sort of platform
him in that
office
room.
still, so
Yeah.
you could obviously
I'll
just
go in
move
that
away.
room because Bachard's in there, and we should keep him away from Bachard because
Yeah.
Bachard is safe.
No,
No,
as I
but-
meant, you could leave Splint where he is right now, and you could go to the office.
What about the
Yeah.
room? What about the room with like 2 safes?
That's the same office.
But this is like a.
So there's
room
the office, and then there was
very
the room with the
enclosed.
safes next to it.
Very
Yeah.
enclosed, very
Yeah, that's it.
hermetic.
Oh, as in you want to put Splint in the room with
Uh-huh.
the safes?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that easily enough. Like, I'm not even, you don't have to roll for anything at this point. Like, just
Put him somewhere, basically
Yeah.
somewhere away from.
you're right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter specifics.
Hit
Chad
the
is still
Splint.
gonna put the bag on the head. It's not. It's like
Make
a
sure there's
bag
like
that.
a loose, so he doesn't suffocate.
Oh yeah. No, it's like a
Just
Hessian
a little
bag.
bit.
That's what I'm.
Yeah.
It's not.
Suffocate.
I'm not putting like
Yeah.
a plastic bag around his head and tying it
Never
close. Chad's just concerned. He just wants to basically blindfold this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad looks around. There's like a Tesco shopping bag nearby. Like, this is
Yeah,
huge.
bag for life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not even the bag for life. The old
No.
one, like thin plastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you have a Hessian like tarp type thing. You just put over his head. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, you guys. It doesn't matter where. You distance yourself enough that you can be confident he can't hear you, and
Yeah.
you can kind of, we'll say, the same with all the other agents around as well. Like you can get to a point where
Yeah.
there's somewhere in this tunnel where you can get to where no one can hear you.
Chad would like to kind of gather gather those presents in small and mighty to sort of things, and just say, look, listen, we are. I don't know about all of you. I joined Small and Mighty just to make a bit of cash and to see what I could do. This is a turning point for us. We can either just carry on doing just bits and bobs and things and helping where we can, or we can go to war. This is not, as you said, Chad is clearly sort of a bit kind of shaken by the but sort of almost by the implication of the scale of all this stuff. The Five Fellows is compromised. We could either
rebuild it.
we could either go underground, find somewhere else to go, or we can stand out and we can go for this. Yes, absolutely. Splint is, he needs help. He needs to be taken somewhere to be looked after. Equally, he's not a nobody. People will notice that he's gone, and we have a choice of whether we face this head on. The thing that I'm trying to figure out is are we gonna do an Aragorn at the end of Lord of the Rings where he gets the eye and basically just goes, Sauron, I'm coming for you. It's sort of that kind of like, do we try and hide, or are we going to face this?
Hiding,
This is not going to go away.
Just add something to this before you continue. Just to remind you something that Splint did say last session. The message did identify Small and Mighty as a threat, and he said that was surprising. Just to put that out there.
Yep.
If that changes anything.
but hiding out can be like a strategy. I mean, it's not about hiding out and being passive. It's just like about hiding out, knowing your surroundings, knowing the city better than them when they come, and just being sneaky.
The Five Fellows is currently compromised, yes, and the Messes know we're there, but the Messes are one organization. They're powerful, yes, but it's not like, it's one group, but also, if we relocated here, if they attacked us again, we'd be isolated, vulnerable. In the Five Fellows, they're citizens, right? It was on fire, we called for help, the city guard came, all the patrons came, like, they helped us. We had support, and we had, you could go and get help if we're trapped here now.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. No, I've watched my father, for my whole life, operate on feeding corruption and lies, and dealing with subterfuge and people working in the shadows like these Messes, and they are building to something. And I think the best way, the way that we should fight this is not in the shadows. I think we should go back. I think we should, stand our ground on this. Go back to the Five Fellows.
We don't necessarily have to start a war with the Messes, not necessarily. We're also Small and Mighty is about helping people, right? People who are in need as well. I'm not saying we shouldn't go after them. There are those poor people trapped in that fort. But Tully just we can help people without, taking down the entire Meta organization.
We'd be helping more people by taking them down.
Okay, but we're 5 people. We have to also be realistic.
With
Organizations like this, they have leaders. You kill one, they get replaced.
As you say, we are 5 people, but as you say, we are gaining the support of of Dowbridge, of Lowbank. With Edvard, there will be plenty of people who know who he was, in terms of what he, his involvement in the fact that he was corrupt. There will be people who didn't know. I think we should expose this. I don't think we should hide him. I think we should obviously look after him. But we've been granted a potential opportunity here to really make a dent, really make a difference, not just helping the occasional person in Lowbank, but actually to fight for what's right.
If we expose what's gone on here, then we have to tell our story.
Well,
That involves telling people about magic.
hang on. We don't have to. We can submit an anonymous tip. They can come and check out the base. They can visit Splinte in the place of where he gets looked after. The evidence is there. We don't need to have ourselves in this, and I don't think we should.
I disagree. I think we should. Obviously, there's nothing we can do literally right now, but I think this is for me. I don't want to handle this. I don't want to fight this on their terms. I want to fight it on our terms.
We can expose the story. I just don't think we need to tell them who we are. Tell the entire of Dowbridge who we are, where we are. I think that's a bad idea. Not only because of potential other people in the mess organization, but Chad, there are some very powerful people looking for me, and Tali doesn't want to put you at risk, any of you. But it's a conversation for, I think, later.
Yep.
Chad, roll me a history check real quick. See if something triggers in your memory as you're kind of gaming this out a little bit.
11.
11. That's 11's enough for this. So it's not too hard. You're kind of like, obviously, Chad is at the moment thinking about, there's building an army or what it is, or finding allies and stuff like that. And obviously, you're talking about exposing, sort of kind of get the public support or the official support. But you do remember that from like the very first session, day 1, the 5 fellows is part of a protection racket run by a mobster, essentially, who runs Lowbank.
Oh, yeah.
The Duchess.
And the Sons.
And you had the 2 sons, the Sun brothers. There are underworld organizations you could potentially lean on as well, or contact, and at the very least, they didn't do their job in protecting the 5 fellows, so there are things going on that might have a vested interest in how Bachar's doing, the 5 fellows. But that's something else. Like, there is the official route, but then there's also clearly some sort of underbelly in Lowbank that you could explore as well.
I don't think we need to be alone with this. There are already people that we've crossed paths. There must be people that we've crossed paths with already who... Yeah.
Tali
Chad's
isn't
kind of
opposed to doing
lost in
this
thought
idea.
there.
Tali
Yeah.
just wants to make sure we do it in the right way.
Yeah.
Will protect
I
us.
mean, there's no, I think I think we do have, the patrons. The patrons are many, and they know. Do they know our secret? Like, kind of, right? Because while they were putting off the fire,
They know. I did roll while the fire was being put out. Christina rolled a high enough sleight of hand check that they didn't spot her using magic to put the fire out.
Okay.
So the patrons aren't aware. Bachard is obviously aware. But there is degrees there. Also, just while that's happening, Pebble, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
What?
Uh,
I don't remember anything happening to me like that. Constitution saving throw. Constitution
Because I've
saving
never asked for
throw.
one of these before.
Constitution saving throw. La 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 la. That's an unnatural 20.
Amazing. So as the sort of adrenaline is starting to wear down from the situation with Splinte, and you're starting to talk about this, you are successfully holding your ground and communicating fine, but that wooden band around your left arm, it is painful.
Oh no.
Like, not enough. Like, I was checking to see if you suddenly just dropped to your knees in pain from that, but you're managing to like put it to the side. Like, you're focused right now on like this situation at hand, this conversation you're having, but you are very aware that is still a situation you need to deal with.
I'm like, ooh, spicy. No, I wouldn't say that. But yeah, do I make a like public? I don't want to be like an attention whore, obviously, but
I mean, your arm is basically
like,
purple at this point. Like, it's not much you personally need to do to make it public,
Right,
especially
so it
since
is
you've
public.
turned into a red skinned
Yeah.
hobgoblin. It is, whereas before it was blue, it's now necessarily like purple.
yeah, that's weird.
So there is that situation, which just as for the player's knowledge, so on your timeline on that, tomorrow is the deadline to
Oh.
bring Christina to Morgrave Manor before Pebble's arm falls off. So
Yeah.
Yep.
just something to consider in the events you're kind of rolling through right now.
Chad has made his point. His point is, in case it just what wasn't get is there is clearly a war being fought in the shadows, and Chad wants to fight our side, not in the shadows,
We should.
and that's
get out-
that.
We should get back
But yeah,
to the 5.
let's let's get out of here first.
As a DM, I've got an interesting question for Chad, and I don't necessarily want you to characterize this, but it's just something I'm curious about. Obviously, Chad is a Riverdanian man who has come to Brattonshire on essentially a gap year, was the kind of joke we made. I'm curious, just what has led Chad to think... Why is Chad on this side of the conflict is what I'm interested in. The Messers, although they are a rogue agent, they are apparently of your nation, and apparently have the best interests of your nation at heart. Why is Chad flying the banner for Brattonshire in this moment, or is there some other motivation behind it?
So it's not that Chad's flying the flag for Brattonshire; it's that Chad's flying the flag against his father. He's learned a lot about his father from a lot of the stuff that was happening in the forest and all this type of stuff. The fact that his father is sort of directly involved in like a strategic way that was mentioned. This is an anti his own family thing, and sort of like a proving himself thing more than there is anything else. And he doesn't want to fight it in the in the way that his father is clearly sort of doing it. He wants to do it his own way.
Cool, interesting.
He's a
What
little
was
boy.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we should,
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it
of
back
course,
to the
of course.
fellows. We have to return the cart and the donkey
Yeah. Oh my god.
and Pebble's arm and
Yeah.
there's also, Adam, is Bertrand with us?
Yes, I'll say that.
That's fine.
'Cause we didn't
There's
actually define which
also-
room you went to, but Charlie's still in these tunnels of things. He's just kind of, if you kind of look towards him, he's kind of pulled himself up into that chair that was in the office,
Mm.
and he is just kind of breathing very heavily, got his eyes closed, and he's clearly trying to find some respite
There's also
for whatever ordeals he's been dealing with.
Splint has the grey mark on his face, and we've seen it before. Bertrand also has it.
Yeah, a lot.
Not a lot, but it's there, and it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, like if you glance over towards Bachan, there's no.
It's on his
visible-
ear, I think, isn't it? Yeah,
There's a
on
tiny
his,
spot
left ear.
you kind of see above his left ear, yeah. Tiny speck above it that you saw when you were inspecting his wounds. But for the rest of you glancing over towards him, there's not there.
We have
so.
time, but we should. Splint has had a formula, but it's able to tell us it now, so we'll have to figure that out ourselves.
He must have notes. Also,
Yeah.
there's
Gonna take
equipment in.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
I'm
take
gonna-
everything. Please don't get me. Don't misunderstand. I'm not going to now demand that we go on a crusade to the detriment of absolutely everything we have. We need to fix Pachard. We need to make sure everyone's safe. We need to make sure that Pebble's arm. Oh my God, Pebble, your arm.
I do
Please
the
go and-
peanut butter
yeah.
kid sound.
Yeah, Christina, we need to get you to Mulgrave
Deep
Manor.
cut.
I just wanted to know if this is the point at which we are going into hiding, or if we're going to be,
Seeking.
yeah.
Just a quick question: when you say that, Chad, and Tali from the previous statement, are you saying that in such a way that Pachard would hear you, or are you keeping it from Pachard?
She's not going. Kind of, yeah. Like if Bachard is in the conversation, like she will include him. But
Alright,
if he
tell you what.
wants to rest, like also she can tell him later. It's not.
I'm
She's
gonna roll a perception check for Pachard because he can't. I imagine he's in the same room, but he's not really actively in this conversation. So let's find out.
Wow.
Interesting. Carry on.
That made
does
very
he?
satisfying noise.
Can I insight check Bachard to see if he's gonna?
Yeah, sure.
Where is that? Oh, it was so close to being a 17, but instead it was a 3. That's a 9.
You look over towards Pachard, and he's hard to read right now because the overwhelming emotion is pain. Like, although you did cure wounds on him and things like that, like there is obviously cure wounds doesn't take away from several hours of torture.
Mm-hmm.
There is scarring and aches and pains that will
Tired.
be with him for a while, and he is just dealing with that. That is the overwhelming expression in his face.
That's okay.
You aren't aware if he's even listening to anything you're saying, never mind if he's heard that specific piece of information.
That's okay.
Goody.
He's gonna start looking around to try and find. We've got a lot of people to try and get out of here.
Yeah. Also, while you've
yeah,
been having
but-
this conversation, Brass has been collecting up people and dragging them to where you
Nice.
are. So you see
Right.
that there is this unconscious body, and then there is one guy who's just tied up, and he's
So
kind of
the
like
guy-
tied the
Tali
net
is
between them.
gonna Tali's gonna sort him out. Like
Yeah,
she's
okay.
gonna get her net back, but I don't know what order we're doing things
Nice.
because she's getting everything from the lab. Like she's taking everything.
Cool.
We can be
Pebble's
kind of
gonna
loose in
help.
the order
La,
right
la,
now.
la, la.
The lab isn't going to try and talk to you or fight back or anything.
That's
Whereas
fair.
the 2 messer agents are, well, one of them is conscious and, very sentient. So
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Leave him to
Okay, we'll deal with him. She's gonna go over to the one that's tied up.
Can't I roll a persuasion check for the lab? I'm just gonna persuade the lab. No, just kidding.
go on, roll me persuasion
so
check for the
secret.
lab.
No. For what?
The formula just makes itself known.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so like whenever, like, I don't know who else wants to do whatever, but Tali is gonna deal with the guy who's tied up.
What are you doing with the guy
Okay,
who's
well, I
tied
can
up?
go. I just don't know if I should go or yeah.
Oh,
She's gonna go over to him. She's gonna crouch down. She's gonna be like, "Hi."
you can see this guy is quite worried now.
Hmm.
Look, we don't want to hurt you. We don't have a problem with you. It was your boss that took our friend. And Tali would like my net back. So if we let you go, or what's your name?
Now you're asking questions. Let me quickly. However, I did open up a table for random names because I
Oh,
thought
no,
this
I'm
might
so
come
sorry.
up. No, that's fine. This is what random tables.
Just trying
are
to
for.
relate, trying to be personable.
Yeah, yeah.
trying to
I
relate.
don't mind names.
It's good.
His
Oh my
name
God.
is. My name is Johannin.
Okay, I'm okay. Good.
You're not gonna kill me, are you?
I want to let you go.
Why? Why?
Well, like I said, we don't have a problem with you. It was your boss that
You can
took
sort of
off,
see him
right?
looking around, like the room you're in, there was a body in here. It might be gone now, but there's still a blood stain. You're like, why do I get to live when everyone else didn't?
Well, I didn't
Chad-
kill
Chad-
your friends.
Yeah, Chad pipes up. The moment's passed.
Yeah. This is not.
I didn't kill
It
your
would-
friends.
it would be weird now.
There's
Charlie
a
just-
change in
just
expression in his face, but you
absolutely
can't
ignores
quite
him.
tell.
Doesn't even recognize that Chandler said anything. I didn't kill your friends, and I wouldn't have if it had been up to me. So I want to make sure that you, at least you don't to die, because
Make me a persuasion check.
yeah, I can do that.
Although that is obviously genuinely true on Ty's part. This guy doesn't really know how to separate any of you. You are a
Yeah.
unit as far as he's concerned, and
That makes a lot of
as a
sense.
unit, you slaughtered most of the people in here. So
We are an absolute unit. Sorry.
Oh, an 18. No, yeah, an 18. An 18.
Wow.
Yes.
you see his shoulders relax, and like he almost like looks at you more intently, almost as if to try and block out anyone else. He's like, okay.
Do you have a family?
I've not been so lucky.
Okay. Well, look, you have a chance here. A chance at a fresh start, a do-over. Everyone else here died. The Messer, your organization, maybe they assume you died. Maybe they won't come looking for you. You have a chance at a fresh start in your
Yeah.
life. You could leave this all behind.
Neat.
Then, if we let you go, and you give me your word that you won't tell anybody anything about us, then we never have to see each other again. And you can go and live a life you want.
Mhm.
Go get that family, if that's what you want.
I can do that.
Okay.
Promise you'll live here and not see from me again. And
And you won't tell anybody about anything here today.
no, I can't. I don't want that coming for me.
Okay, good. Can I insight check that?
Yeah.
Just to see. 16.
16. So there's part of it which is yes, he genuinely is saying means what he says. There is fear and relief in what he's saying. Relief in that you are letting him go, and he genuinely at the moment believes that you are going to let him go. But you asking him to promise he never talks about it, there is a fear in that. Like, he doesn't want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when he says, I don't want them to find me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You get the sense that he's equally as scared of you as he still is scared of the messes.
Of course.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
Go change your name. Be someone else. So I'm gonna take the net back now. Is Chad piping up with anything? I saw a wheel your hand.
Chad's going to pipe up with something, but please don't worry. Can I do a little insight check as well, just to check if I can see how that all went? That's a 15.
15. Pretty much the same thing. You
So
come to the
so
same
similar.
conclusions as Tali.
So Chad's gonna come over as well. And I'm just gonna add just if they do come for you, and if you think they're coming for you, if you get a slightest hint that they are coming for you, you know where to find us.
Does he though?
I mean, I assume he was part of the raiding party that came
Oh,
to.
okay.
Possibly not.
Just
What
for
is that?
and just for any,
Whether
we're at
he
the Five
does
Fellows
or
pub. Like, come on. The
whether he
address is.
whether he did or didn't know where you are, you just watch. He agrees nonetheless.
He
Like,
was like,
yeah.
yeah.
He's too
We're in the.
He's too afraid to imply that he might not know where you're. Like, these guys are important. I'm not gonna say I don't know where they live. Like
we're
that.
we're in the Five Fellows. But again, don't spread that around. That's just for you in case you need it. Pointing.
Okay.
Cute.
And she's gonna slowly I'm just gonna take the net, and then she's gonna start undoing the net so she
Yeah.
can get it
Just-
back out
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
preserved, so I can reuse it.
As you take the net off, this guy still does not move. There is this he's
Mhm.
waiting for permission to move. He's still
Okay.
although he trusts you, he's still very unsure in this moment really what's going on. He's almost it's too good to be true.
Him?
There's an unconscious guy as well.
Was it just him?
There's a guy.
Right.
Is he sleeping?
You knocked him out, so he's unconscious for some time. Find out.
Is he not the sleep? Oh no, because this was the sleep. That's fine. Yeah.
This was the sleep that he woke up.
Yes. No. Okay. It was the guy. It was the unconscious guy because he died and then I brought him back. Because I did.
Yeah,
I did like a spell of dying.
you
or
just
like
spare the
a-
dying
yeah,
on someone.
spell.
Yeah, he'll be unconscious for 2 hours. Not that you guys actually know that, obviously. But...
Charlie, does this guy have like a small object with him?
I mean, presumably he'll have some small objects. So he has his uniform that he's wearing, the kind of the black and white coat. We will say that kind of tucked inside his coat, he has just like a small like brooch that's
Perfect,
attached on like the
that's
shirt
fine.
underneath.
You can go, but I can you can go through the tunnels if you want. I can make sure you have some light, so you can see where you're going. Can I touch your bro?
You can see him sort of like it's the faintest nod. Like he's still very unsure, but
Okay.
he does nod.
She's gonna touch his brooch and cast the light cantrip on it. And then
He jumps out of his skin for like.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
alright. It's just a light, so you can see in the dark. You can go.
He very
Look at
timidly,
his
like a
face.
wounded animal, kind of gets up,
Mhm.
and there's like the few timid
kinda like him.
steps, and then there is a sprint,
Yay!
Hey.
and this man
Be
takes the
free!
freedom with 2 hands and fucking legs it.
I
You
like
hear running and panting up the gravel path as he runs
Mhm.
through these tunnels and disappears into the distance.
Yeah, we did a good thing. Well, I didn't.
7 agents slaughtered, but 1 released.
Yay!
It all balances out at the end, doesn't it?
True.
Chad's got an idea. He's going to sort of indicate to someone, Christina or Pebble or Tali, or obviously Brask, but yeah. Someone come with me back to Edvard and agree with everything I say. In front of him, please.
100% Brass will do this with you. Like Brass
Yeah.
is
Okay.
he's your murderer. He's gonna come with you.
Yeah.
So Brass is following suit easily.
Good.
Brask is good at agreeing, I think.
Yeah. So he's
Brass
gonna.
doesn't really understand what agreeing means anyway, so
Yeah.
he'll just you can
Yes.
easily
Roll
talk him
with
into this.
Yeah. So basically, Chad. I don't even know if we need to play this a while. Chad wants to out loud and as convincingly as possible. It's probably the performance check. State in hearing range of Edvard that everyone has been killed. That there were no other survivors.
Interesting. Okay.
That's kind of cool.
Just in case he
yeah.
assumes that people are still watching and listening through him.
Make me a deception check.
Ooh.
It's
That is a
interesting.
lie. You are deceiving.
Yeah.
Can I
that is-
guidance him?
Sure, I'll allow that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Just Tali just like walks in the room, like taps you on the shoulder,
Yeah.
like, and just leaves. Doesn't even say anything. She just
So you can add a
suddenly
D4
feel like you
to
can do this again.
Yeah, so roll an extra D4 as well and add that.
An
to it.
extra D4. Right, come on, give me a.
Just to boost it.
Hmm.
It'll only a 6.
What? Great.
It's very hard to know because you don't know if anyone is listening. So you say the words, you say them as convincingly as possible. And it's not like you stumble your words or anything,
Ah,
but
damn it.
there is this kind of
Imagine this Brask going like, yes!
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no, 100% that is what trips us up. Like, even that other guy we let go, we killed him afterwards. He's
Yeah.
actually dead.
Lord.
Yeah, there's very much that kind of thing going. You're turning around like, no, but like, Brass, why?
And Brask is like,
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
hello.
Tali is gonna do the same thing with the guy who's unconscious. She will heal him if she has to, like cure wounds him.
Okay.
Also to be like, can
Yeah.
have a new life. You don't have to
Roll
do
me a
this
persuasion check.
anymore,
Just roll me a persuasion check.
etc., etc. Can I guidance myself?
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
We'll
Let's do
speed
that.
through this.
Yeah, I don't want to like,
Yeah.
But there's another
Let's
unconscious.
repeat that entire interaction that we just
Yeah,
had.
basically.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't
Same
all
speech,
great.
but we'll see if the roll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe not. Okay, hold on. 8.
8. Okay. They agree exactly the same. They look terrified and like, of course, yes.
Inside check.
Go on.
Oh man, an 8.
Yeah, you believe him.
Alright. We'll just let him. Yeah, we'll let him go. Same thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, just go have your life.
Yeah.
Don't
Yep.
tell anybody about this.
Guy fucking legs it as well.
Oh.
He's gonna betray us.
Giving him a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
Then we clean out the lab.
Yeah. I have.
Tali also makes a point of we have all these supply crates that are just here. We could sell them back.
Yeah, like,
we just
for
know what
most of you
price
guys,
we could
you
sell
didn't.
them. We could keep some for ourselves. We could also maybe distribute some to the homeless, the poor.
Yep.
We
You
could probably
guys who
get
were
some
busy
quick
dealing
profit.
with Splint and didn't actually see this, like, you come out to the train platform and most of the train is still there, but the front carriage got derailed and kind of slightly tipped. A lot of the cargo boxes have just fallen onto the tracks.
Oh,
Some are broken open where you can see things like pickaxes and things like
Oh.
that, and maybe some lanterns are just like crashed onto the floor. But there is like 9 other carriages full of cargo crates
Jeez.
just still in this tunnel.
That's a lot.
Like, there's a lot of stuff here. Like, you, without opening it up, you couldn't even guess the value of what's here. But this was clearly a decent. There's also like food here and stuff. Like, there's a lot of supplies here. Clearly, obviously, to supply a workforce, like almost like a mining operation worth of equipment is here, which you could do with as you please. So
Yeah, probably
You obviously
maybe, like,
can't
the
carry it,
patrons.
is
Yeah,
the thing.
well, we could get the patrons from the pub. Maybe that we have to come back and get them, and we over time we think it could help us fix the pub, and like I said, we could keep some ourselves, give some away
Very
to the homeless.
Well, let's figure out the logistics of that.
Totally.
Chad's going to look at Bachard and Edvard and just sort of look at Brask, sort of the other physically strongest person. Just be like, which one do you want to carry?
Nice.
Todd might be able to walk.
I'm not making Bachard
We
walk
can
out of
ask
here.
him. We could ask. But okay.
if you try and ask Bachard if he wants to walk, he does say he wants to walk, but you watch as he kind of stumbles and he sort of will eventually begrudgingly accept help. He doesn't like the idea of being carried, though. He does want to be, like, supported.
Right.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
Let's
But
do
he
that.
will not. He won't accept being carried. But he is not capable of walking by himself.
Okay.
And you can tell it's an uncomfortable mid ground for him. Like, he's not happy about the fact he can't handle this on his own.
Yeah. Well, Chad's gonna feel responsible for Splint, and he's gonna go over and put him
so-
over his shoulder, basically.
Yeah, Splint's a fairly like Weasley kind of guy, so he's not too heavy to carry.
Go on, make me roll an athletics check. I'm desperate to roll one.
Oh, okay, go on, roll me an athletics check.
22.
Yeah, easily enough. You just whoop,
Nice.
just pick him up.
You just
No
like
trouble.
I've got a
Roll into the five
plus.
feathers.
I've got a plus 10 to athletics now.
Jeez. Wow.
Oh.
Nice.
So yeah.
Not really. Cool. Pebbles
We're
doesn't
We're
want
gonna
show
clean
off
out cleaning out the lab.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
fine.
what we should write on our on my. I can write nothing for now. If that's
No, there is an item for this. Let's put it down.
But yeah, everything like component
Yeah, no, man.
components. I think detailing a formula or half formula.
Actually,
or
just
any vague
write
formula.
down in your notes equipment and notes from Splint's lab.
Cool.
Write that down somewhere, and
Okay.
that's fine. Cool.
And then anything else of note in the office at all, like just a quick sweep,
So obviously
and
there
just,
was
yeah.
the two offices. So there was the notes that Chad found.
Mhm.
The the date of the King Rises is the new code, and the things have been shipped off to Fort Erlington. And then in Splinte's lab, that is the letter you picked up, which obviously indicated that
Yep.
that Splinte was unhappy with leadership.
Yep.
And that Chadronicius II has got involved.
And that's everything.
And then there was various alchemical notes and stuff like that. There's like books and stuff on alchemical stuff, which will go with that, which is
Yeah, we take
beyond your comprehension,
it
at
all.
least in the short reading, which is fine. You take that.
Yeah.
The painting. Do you leave the painting behind? You take that.
Bit big. Really.
That's fine.
Hang out.
Just- okay. Cool. So, you could probably like tear it out its frame and roll it up if you want.
Oh, neat.
Probably worth something for the right people.
Okay, we take it.
Nice.
Cool. All right. And are you all heading straight back to the Five Fellows?
Yep.
Well, we have.
Well,
We had. Well, are we bringing Splint back to the, or do we split up? We take, and then, or you take Splint. I can see, or
Let's just take him back
to the five.
to an undisclosed location.
I mean, they know well.
He's
When
still
you
got the
say that
bag
out-
in
This may. I don't know when it's happening. Like whatever.
When you say that out loud, Brass goes, Do you mean the pub?
Yeah.
As
They already
it
know.
Yeah.
the scene fades to black and we'll cut across the Five Fellows.
Good.
But we're
Actually, I
actually
think
just gonna
that-
take him right. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
You can figure out from there. I think that might be a good place to take our break. Since there's a nice
Yeah.
transition into the next sort of
Very
scene.
nice.
So let's take our little break. We'll just do
correct.
10 minutes and we're a little bit behind the time.
Neat. Okay. Very good.
Well, 25. We come back at 25, so it's a bit longer.
Alright.
The 20 minutes? Or 10?
No.
Wait, 10 minutes, yes.
It's like 12
I
minutes,
can't tell.
to be
time.
real. Yeah, 25. We'll be back, and then we'll pick up the Five Fellows.
Yeah. And everything
Yeah.
will be
You
fine.
continue to make plans. Obviously, you have things like Rumyard is at the Five Fellows that you send him
Oh,
back
sure,
there. So
yeah.
he's obviously
And
someone you can
Helga
talk
as
to.
well.
Helga was sent back there as
Hopefully.
well. Yeah. So
Mm.
you
Cool.
still have, and then obviously the patrons Tiog and Jennifer the donkey and the car. Like all that's waiting for you back at the Five
Yep.
Fellows.
Oh
So
my god.
yeah.
Very nice.
We never brought that back to the.
Nope.
Oh.
That's what we have to do. That's what Talia was saying. We
Look,
have to bring the
good-
cart back.
You parked
Right.
the car outside when the pub was under attack, and obviously things
Yep.
have not stopped since then. So,
That's a good point.
Okay.
We need to take it back to Colburn.
Colburn, exactly.
Right. See
My
you
other
after
crazy
the
dwarf.
break.
Yes. See you in a bit.
Bye. Be good.
Bye.
And we are back.
Oh.
So we pick up with you just outside the Five Fellows, like coming up the road. You see the building is there are still like charm marks where some of the fire did reach the outside, but you are very pleasantly a pleasant sight in that there's no more smoke.
Oh.
The building, as charred as it is no longer on fire, and you can see that there are parts of the walls that were damaged have been patched up in a very sort of haphazard way, as clearly where you left them, the regulars and Teog have led a fairly decent restoration kind of service to it.
Neat.
You also see that the wagon and Jennifer the donkey have been brought out of the alley where you left them and actually brought round to. There is kind of like a stables in the Five Fellows,
Mhm.
and you actually see Rumyard standing there feeding Jennifer an apple,
Oh. Lovely.
giving her a pet on the head.
Talia's
you
gonna
are
like.
a good donkey, aren't you, miss? Oh, you're such a lovely donkey.
Talia's gonna like put her hands over Splint's ears, and
Yep.
to just like like a child. It's like I don't. Talia doesn't think he should come in to the this to here.
What?
He shouldn't be part of the conversations we're having. If
Oh,
we think
okay.
that, because he has the thing in his head.
Berchard Weekly kind of like, if you wanna, you can always just chuck him in the basement. I'll keep him out of earshot while we talk. You can see the walk back, it's only like a 10-15 minute walk, has taken a lot out of Berchard.
Oh.
Yeah, we could do that.
Hmm.
Some like I don't want to know
Yeah.
on it, but like putting him.
Yeah, we do that.
Although if Tali's going to the, I don't know who's going to the basement.
That's why I suggested it.
Oh, I mean, Chad will come to the basement.
Well, Chad insists on going alone to the basement. I guess
Yeah.
is more the point.
I mean, Tali is more concerned with helping, but
I know.
Good. I mean, yeah. Let's just. I mean, we can play it as if like no one's gonna question, you know.
Yeah.
To be
happened?
fair, Chad, you are the one carrying him, so you can easy enough be like, I'll take him downstairs. And returning downstairs, you can see that it does seem undisturbed as you instructed. There is still Nura tied to the post, laying there. You can see there is a pool of blood that has gone down through her clothes and into the floor. There is like, because this is a beer cellar, there would be like kind of like a drain built into it. So you can see that the blood is pooling and draining off into this drain.
Ooh, Chad could
and
have
you
a little
can
snack.
see there still is the bucket with the brick on top of it there as well.
Undisturbed. Okay.
This is a normal situation.
It would really help. It would really help if Chad and by extension I had given it any thought as to what I'd do when he gets back into this. Gets back to this.
You're all too busy thinking about your war of the messes.
Yeah.
You forgot about cleaning up your own mess.
Yeah. Right. Well, from the sounds of it,
I can jump back to you if you want to have a think about this.
Yeah, Splint doesn't need to be tied up by the by the sounds of it.
We don't know
He's-
this.
Yeah. But
Good.
we'd also come back to. We know we have we do know we have to hand in the car, and we do have a time limit on that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll let you have a think, Will, if you want to do anything.
Yeah,
You might not.
yeah.
I'll come back to you. You obviously could just end up just leaving it down there and trying to come back and deal with it later. But we'll jump over. So you're doing that. Everyone else obviously comes into the pub. Ramyard follows you in as you walk in. It's like, I have to say, sirs, I must thank you once again for saving me from that awful situation. My secrets were at terrible risk, and thanks to all of you, I can safely say that they will never find out my recipes.
We are happy. I mean, we don't. You don't. Let's not. Talk about what happened to anyone around the street or anything.
No, of course. I think a far more
Please.
important thing I have to tell you is that, well, dinner is cooking. I promised you all a meal. And then on my travels, I ran into a lovely little gnome who apparently works here. And myself and Helga have been diligently cooking up a storm in the kitchen.
Wait, how do you know her name?
Well, she refused to talk to me. So all the way back, I tried to make pleasant conversation. She did not know me. She was not interested. What is it wrong with this town? No one knows who I am in this town. But that lovely orcish woman inside the bar told me who she was. And I watched her walk in the kitchen, so I put her to work, and we've got some lovely roast turkey coming up for all of you.
How
Oh,
did you
thank
know
you.
Helga worked here? Did you just follow a random person on the street who didn't want to talk to you? Probably
Well, I
shouldn't.
kind of figured
shouldn't.
when I got to the top of the street and realised she was walking in the same direction I was walking, I was
guy's
like, oh, are
dangerous.
you going to the Five Fellows? And she didn't reply, of course, so I just made the assumption, I put it together, I can sense another cook, and just put it together, and then, struck up a conversation.
I mean,
It was a very one-sided conversation, I'll admit, but...
Okay.
by the way, don't take that personally. Like, she just doesn't talk, but she means well. I've known Helga for a long time now.
7 days.
Yeah, check
Oh,
her
it's
earlier
been
one.
7 days, like legit.
been like
you
a
guys have been in town for, I think, a week, maybe at most. I was going to work it out the other day. I forgot to
I
do
don't even
it.
think
But,
it's been a week.
For a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
you know what? I'm going to sit here and work it out. But anyway, so Ramyard has started cooking some meal for you, and he returns to the kitchen.
How long? Well, just because.
Well, we weren't quite sure when you were coming back, so we were just doing prep work. So if I kick it into high gear, I reckon we can have it round about an hour.
Adam, how far away is Coburn's?
15 minutes.
Okay.
Ah,
we might
everything works
just
out.
do some
Yeah.
errands and then okay, an hour.
Yeah.
if you go to walk back to the donkey, but Rumgut is like, oh, actually, are you heading out to the? I was wondering if I could talk to you about that fine donkey outside. See, I find myself in a unknown town without many of my effects, and I hastily would like to get out of here soon. I was wondering if I might be able to purchase that donkey from you and wagon.
It's not even ours, mate.
Yeah, it's not ours. We've loaned it. We've just hired it. It's from a lovely gentleman called Colburn. He runs a little business loaning out his carts and donkeys.
Oh, if you could point me in that direction, then I will
could,
hit them up on the morn, and I will hire myself one then.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to say? We could always do with another chef.
My cooking powers cannot be contained to one building, I'm afraid. I feel the call, the scent of discovery, and I must follow it to complete my recipe book. I may stay in a place for a day, a week at most, to grace it with my delicacies, but then the road calls to me once again.
Okay,
Good.
that's fine too. Just wanted to make the offer. You seem nice, and
There's a thing happening in Pebble's brain. Pebble knew about this guy and he read his books and all that.
Yeah.
The myth has fallen. Now he's like, oh, he's extremely
Never
full
meet
of
your
himself.
heroes.
It's like, yeah, okay.
Well, he's full of himself, but he has genuinely written some very good cookbooks. Like, he's not...
Yeah,
can
but
back
still,
up
like,
some of this.
Pebble is a little bit visceral. Like, he clings on, like, attitude more than
That's fair.
over for
That is fair.
of someone. Yeah.
Cool. So Charlie, you're
Right,
talking
right,
about the goat, the donkey.
Yeah, yes. I mean, yeah. So Talia wants to take the donkey back just because we want to sort that out. She'll basically anyone who wants to come. She'll check in with people. Like, you can stay. You can.
Oh, is this one of the keep the party together kind of situation? I'm gonna change. I'm
Not
gonna check on.
necessarily. It's just Talia was just offering.
Pebble's gonna check on Helga. Even if Helga doesn't communicate verbally, Pebble's just like worried.
Yeah, Talia will make sure the child is sat and comfortable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that can be like 5 minutes, and then I can go.
Yeah. So you, to a child, you just sort of put him down in the seat in the pub, in the pub. Yeah. You can see him look about the place, and there's this deep weariness to him. And you can see him kind of taking in the damage in the room.
Oh.
There's a sigh.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Oh, it never looked ship-shape.
We're gonna fix it, so it's okay.
It's gonna be fine.
Honestly, Charlie, this place needs fixing for most of the time I've worked here. It's alright. You'll be
At
alright.
least it's still here.
I'm not sure anything could take this place down, honestly. I think it'll outlast all of us. I'm sure it'll outlast even you, honestly.
Talia's just
Good.
awkward laugh.
It's like, ooh. Yeah. Deep
Well,
words.
you should rest, Blanchard. We've had a rest, have a sleep. We'll have food soon. We're gonna take the.
You say that in turn of what he sort of touches your arms like. You couldn't find me a newspaper to read, could you?
Oh, what? Sorry?
So you go over and find a newspaper somewhere. You find the today's
Absolutely,
newspaper and bring
Richard.
back to him because, as you have realised, every day he likes to read the newspaper. So you bring the damaged bystander to him, and he kind of sits
Yeah,
up.
and then before
Go on.
Well, kind of before she leaves, she'll hand a newspaper in. Before she leaves, she's like, "Oh, by the way, Blanchard, you are worth it." So, sort of shrugs. Like,
There's a smile, an acknowledgement through a smile. He doesn't say anything particular, but
good.
as you see him sitting there, he opens up this newspaper. You watch as Helga brings out his hat to him,
Oh.
It's so cute.
which he puts on his head, and for the first time today, Berchard starts to look normal again.
Oh,
Hey.
He's sort of
Oh.
reclining in his chair,
Awesome.
reading a newspaper, with his hat back on.
love him so much.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to deal with the cart.
Yes.
Pebble, you're going with, I think you said.
We'll
Chad,
check
you're
with
dealing with.
Christina. Like we'll check. Yeah, if anyone wants to come.
Well, that's what's
Anyone
going to
who
come
wants
to you.
then come along.
Christina, have you been up to anything in this moment while this has all been happening? Or anything
No,
you want to immediately do?
Help make the child comfortable.
Yeah, so you can help Tali with that.
Me, for Christina, more so, it's like the threat of a band around Pebble's wrist.
Yeah.
Is like looming, so I'm getting a bit preoccupied.
Yeah.
And Christina are one now, apparently. So she's getting a bit
It's alright.
preoccupied with getting there. As she doesn't want her friend's arm to fall off.
That's fair.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. It fucking hurt.
Yes.
Says
Okay.
Pebble.
Yeah,
we'll
we
come-
can talk
yeah,
about it
so-
over food. Like it's the
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so, like when she comes back, we'll make a plan for the next sort of
Yeah.
steps.
Goodie.
Cool. So we'll jump quickly across. So we'll skip over travel, but you arrive back in the what was it called? The gold.
I can do this somewhere in my notes. All
I
those,
never write this
all
down.
those sessions ago.
I never write
I
anything.
wrote a pun about it
I'm a naughty
and
boy.
carts of gold.
That's
Cards
the
of gold.
one.
You arrive back at carts of gold,
I know
and
that's
very similar to the first time. The door is kind of like jarred, just closed, and as you open it, there is a guy with a crossbow stuck
nice.
out from behind a curtain.
It's me. It's me.
Who is me?
Harley.
And after a
Charlie.
few moments of awkward altercation, Colburn does rescind the weapon, although he doesn't seem to recognize you.
Oh,
You think that might just be his personality, like,
good.
Returning.
yes, you borrowed cards from me. Yes.
Yeah, Tali has
Picks up a big book.
Yes.
Starts
Yeah,
flicking through it.
So something happened when
Is the
wait,
cart
one-
okay?
the cart is okay, but we don't have one donkey.
What's the name of the donkey that we
You lost Carl.
call?
What do you mean you don't have donkey?
Well, you know the outside's dangerous and has wild creatures in it, and a wyvern came from the sky, and now we don't have Carl.
There's a deep-
Tali's
there's
really
a sigh.
sorry.
There was a sigh.
Tali tried,
You
and
see him flick through the books, that page which had all the donkeys on it, and he sort of just takes the picture of Carl out of it,
Oh,
Oh no.
and he puts that beneath the counter.
Tali's
I
really
love this guy.
sorry. Genevieve's okay. I think a little shaken up.
And the cart is okay.
The cart is okay.
Okay.
is the car like fully okay?
Yeah, the cart's
By the way-
fine.
oh,
It was
okay.
never touched. You
Cool.
see he reaches behind the counter. Like, okay. He pulls up a bag of gold, like, there is your deposit.
The
Oh.
whole
Minus the
the
additional
whole-
note. Yes, cart is fine.
with the donkey.
Deposit. Oh, there'll always be more donkeys. Secret thing about donkeys is that they make more donkeys for free. Cart's expensive to get a new one.
It's alright, yeah.
Tali's like, is that true?
There's no
You
flow on
just
that
hear him
logic.
scrunch. You hear him scrunch up the picture of Carl, and he just throws it to the side.
Oh,
That's great. That's great.
Oh, I love this guy.
Okay. You sure? Okay, we'll just take the. It was 100.
No,
So-
you're. Hold on, right.
I did write it down,
Uh,
so I can go find it.
Yeah, I forgot. Should have written
I'll
this down.
find it.
Oh, right, I'll give it to you in a second. I did plan this out, but anyway. I was like, is there any more business today?
Oh,
Deposit was 100, and
Yes.
then the crate was 10, and the cart was 10, and then the crate was 50.
Yeah, so I need to figure out what I need back, because you also have returned the car a day early, so I just got to figure it out quickly.
Oh, okay.
I'll figure that out in a second.
No, that is everything. We might be sending another customer your way tomorrow to hire a cart.
Good. Tell him to knock 3
Oh, okay.
times.
3 times. Okay.
Pause, and then 2 times, and then I will know he's not trying to kidnap.
Wait, so not just knock 3 times? Just
Knock 3 times, pause, knock twice.
Okay. Yes.
Tell no one else.
Okay. Knock 3 times and then. we good? Are you okay?
Yes, actually, he does give you a whole 100 set back because you're not paying for the second day. So
Just even though we're early?
yes, this is business. You bought back car early, you don't pay for extra day.
No, that's fair. I'm just checking. Okay. Are you okay? You should or you don't need to have. You don't need. You don't need to be afraid that someone's gonna kidnap you.
Why would I be afraid someone's going to kidnap?
Just in case, some people have heard rumors around.
He picks
town,
up the
some
crossbow like,
people
what
are-
have you heard?
No. You don't. We spoke before. I mean, but because there's the rumors of the gnomes and the dwarves going missing. Just rumors, right? And
You see him
some
slowly
people might
backing
be-
out towards the curtains like, I think it'd take me. He just sort of backs away,
Jesus.
still facing you,
This guy.
and then disappears behind the
We
curtain.
stopped them, is what I'm saying. But
A moment later,
I'll
you see
leave,
the
I'll
crossbows
leave,
pointing
I-
to the curtain.
we spoke like a day ago. She
There's just
she
silence.
tried. She leaves.
As paranoid as ever, apparently.
Yep.
You do wonder if maybe he was as paranoid before the dwarf situation. Anyway,
Yes.
so you're doing that. You're making your way back now. I see it's add 100 sets back to your thing.
Yeah.
Down in the basement. Chad, anything special or?
So
It's
while all
party
that was
time.
happening, I've got a few questions which will help me figure out what to do. How similarly dressed are Splinte and Nora?
Wow.
Pretty
I know-
similar.
I
They
think I know
both,
what it
the
is,
uniform is very similar. They both wear this kind of like that kind of almost like aviators kind of coat with a sort of the ruffle bit around it. If anything, Splinte is I guess a slightly fancier one. There's probably some silver sort of trimmings and stuff to it, which maybe denotes some sort of station within the messes. But
Okay,
Makes
but so
sense.
at a glance, they could be mistaken for each other.
at a glance, if someone's had been paying enough attention and was fine in inspection, they probably would notice. But definitely at a glance.
Okay, right, that helps one thing. Is Teog still in the pub if Chad goes back
Yeah.
upstairs?
Yeah, it should be around.
Chad's gonna go up to Teog. Teog, was it? Yeah. Fantastic job. You've been doing great. I hope the beer has helped. It's really good stuff. There obviously was some casualties during the during what happened to the pub. I assume you've perhaps come across some bodies while you've been,
I think was anyone else was killed? There must have been surely.
because there were dead people inside
Yeah.
the
I
pub
think so.
when it was on fire.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, there would. Yeah, it would have been like. Yeah, unfortunately, we saw some of those people, agents, whatever they were lying around. A bit charred, I think, as well.
Yeah. Did you do anything with them? Did you get a count for how many, or did they sort of leave them where they were?
She looked over to one of the other guys, like, Terry, how many were those bodies were? You see, Terry's like, oh, there was 2 of them. I just chucked them out back. It's like, out back.
Right.
Efficient.
Okay. Yeah. Good. There may have been, it may have been a third. I'll make sure that's they're sort of dealt with in the same way. We'll figure out a way of shifting them. But thank you. That's
Do you
good
want
to know.
Terry to deal with it? He's an idiot. He doesn't realize what he's doing.
No, that's absolutely fine. I'll hand it just out back. You say it should be fairly obvious.
Yeah, not quite sure what to do with them at the moment, so we've just put them out back because they were starting to smell.
Yeah. No, that's.
I was kind of hoping you'd bring Bouchard back so I could ask him, because can't say I've ever disposed of a body before.
No, that's
That's-
absolutely
That's relief.
yeah, absolutely fine. Out back, I assume you mean in an area where they're not.
The
sort of,
alleyway. Yeah.
Okay. So not sort of like visible to everyone in the.
No, I'm just chucked around with it from the rest of the trash for the moment, just to kind of keep it as inconspicuous as possible. But,
Good for the clientele.
Honestly, I imagine
Good
they're probably
try.
going to end up at the river at some point. I think that's probably the best place for them, isn't it?
Actually,
That's what we hear happens to people who goes missing
Yeah.
in these parts.
Yeah.
why does the ogre
So what?
know? Okay.
Leave them with me.
Sure, I don't want to
fine,
deal with them.
fine, but yeah, obviously, yeah, by the morning, won't be a problem. Won't be a problem at all.
Easy enough. Glad
Yep.
to hear it.
Can I just talk out of character here? I'm just trying to
Yep.
figure this out. Obviously, we're in
Gaming
daytime.
out.
We're still in daytime.
Yeah, it's probably realistically you're pushing later afternoon. It would have to be by now because
Yeah.
you arrived in the morning when the pub was on fire. It was
Yeah.
early morning then, and then you obviously been running across town and down there doing things. So it must be sort of, we'll say 6 p.m. Let's say
Yep.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Okay.
summer or 6 p.m. winter? No.
Okay.
How many more
so-
hours of sunlight is basically the...
6 p.m.
So the things that Chad has got, and I'm gonna slightly metagame on this if this is okay, because I just want to figure this
Yeah,
out.
we just like to
That
game it out.
it's the options are utilize the fact that people have seen Chad walk into the basement carrying a body with a bag over their head, and could see a very similar body being carried back out of there.
Mhm.
Obviously, then there would still then be Splinte would still be in the thing,
Yeah.
and then also the fact that there are other bodies that it's not like a mystery that there are dead bodies.
Yeah.
So probably what it will be is Chad will just try and dump them in the river at night.
Roll me an intelligence check.
Yeah, please do.
Because Adam's thought of something you could do, but let's see if.
I
Chad
was
is
gonna ask, is there depends how low tech this society is, like where we are in sort of industrial revolution times. But there are the dead carts, right, that they used to bring
Mm.
around in
Yeah, people with the
plague times, where
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
put your fucking dead on the cart and they take them to like a mass grave or whatever. Is there like a similar
Yeah.
system? People come like people must have dead bodies every now and then.
Sure,
right?
but
Like-
those only
They
happen
grow.
because of a plague.
yeah, but is there a similar system?
Well, that would
Or
Like
a
if,
similar
if
situation.
your family, like in game,
Yeah.
if you live with someone and they pass away, what do you do as a peasant?
you probably go and talk to an undertaker, and they probably come and collect the body. I imagine.
Okay.
I suppose also if, Icar is something that is widely known to infect people, there might be like a situation going, like a just...
It's not a plague
to
kind of
justify.
It's not like
situation.
it's not the same as the black.
Yeah, fair
It's
enough.
not.
What do you get, Chad?
Natural 1.
Natural 1. Yeah, no, I'm not helping.
Woohoo!
No, that's fair. That's entirely fair.
Big out.
By the
Shame
way...
go
because
back
it wasn't
down.
going to be a
Chad-
high DC, but
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, but
Chad's
not
gonna
one.
go back down.
what
and
I
he's
will
gonna...
I will say, despite the natural 1, is there is obviously one other person who knows about Nura that you could go and talk to.
Christina.
Good idea. Christina.
Yeah.
Oh!
Christina, did you stayed in the pub?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chad's gonna come and find you and say, "Oh, yeah, Christina, could you come down to the basement with me, please?"
Sure.
You're gonna traumatize Christina, no!
She
Oh.
didn't run away because she was so traumatized by the situation, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's all okay.
Wait.
You don't need to worry. There's there's nothing. We got a situation where we have that agent that we were talking to before, one way or another didn't make it.
Wow.
Yeah, and
That's right.
we've got a situation where we've got other agents who didn't make it, who are outside in the alleyway, who we will need to part ways with. This one is a slightly different situation, but we still need to move them. My thinking is maybe if we can. I'm not going to set fire to a dead body, but if we can make it look like maybe they were one of the ones that died in the fire, in some way, and
Oh,
just deal with them all the same thing. What do you? Or we
How's it
could
going,
try and sort of do a bait and switch with Splint, but then that doesn't really help us very much because still we ended up with Splint here.
Lol. Yeah. Great.
These aren't rats. These
What?
are not pests we're trying to get rid of.
Oh.
And these are people. I can't believe how nonchalant you're being. And I'm just gonna storm away.
Yes.
Very good.
Too much.
Fuck yes, very good.
All
But
right,
it's
good.
like,
Once again,
it's just like, we kind of need to just get rid of these bodies, and Christina's not having it.
just for the benefit of like my memory and also potentially anyone watching, what was Christina the moment this person got like tortured to death by Chad?
So
Was
you
Christina
left the whole
there?
torture. Christina cast inflict wounds and then walked away at that point. Then after you left,
Ran away
Chad killed her.
crying.
I did
Yeah.
kill them, but then Chad
Ah.
healed them and then killed them
Yes.
again.
That's
Oh.
true.
Because
Yeah.
Christina panicked because Christina didn't mean to kill them, but they died. Then Chad
see.
healed them, only to then torture and then like stab them in the neck or something. Like
To make a
fucking-
point.
It was
He was
really
making a
brutal,
point.
Yeah.
He was making a point.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
I think he
Christina-
wanted to be the one to.
So
He wanted a
Christina-
bit more information, and then he wanted to use the fact that they were really, really scared.
And the
Got a bit more
spell,
info.
for more context, the spell Christina cast was, I can't remember the name of it, but it's essentially
Vampiric touch.
yes, vampiric touch, where she touches the person and takes their life force to heal herself.
Ah.
It was just a bit because like Christina has like mishaps with casting spells. It was like,
Yeah.
but this is not a nice spell. This is not just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
of
enough.
like sparks.
This is a
and-
scary spell, yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary
That's
spell.
kinda
So she ran away crying because not
Yeah.
nice.
Neat.
Um,
So you don't know. Oh,
So-
so by Chad
so-
saying this right now, Christina doesn't know if
Well, they're in the
she
basement.
killed.
Oh yeah, because that's true.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So
You're making it
Chad's
worse.
gonna sort of like chase after Christina if that's like I know if you just sort of
Yeah.
like you sort of stormed off, but you'd be like, look, regardless, look, how do you think we should deal with the fact that we've got, regardless of the one down there, what should we do about
The
the fact
one
we've
down
got
there?
we've got dead
Really?
bodies to deal with?
To deal with.
Yeah.
Christina's just gonna keep walking.
Yeah.
Probably like out of the pub, like not having it. Not having it.
I will say, as you walk out of the pub, you see Tali and Pebble returning,
Right.
which means you guys see Christina walking probably quite hurriedly out of the pub.
Yeah.
Is everything
What's-
alright?
Christina, what's wrong? Are you okay?
Got some pest control to deal with. Ask Chad.
Oh.
Inside check.
Yes, inside check, go for it.
Fair enough. Alright, Pearl is also gonna roll because why not?
40.
Yeah, both of you can roll. Go for it.
Although I can guidance. Do that.
I'll say not for
Oh,
this
no.
because guidance is a bit more premeditated.
Okay.
That's fair. Actually.
We both
Go for it.
rolled a 14, so that's
14,
good.
fine. When what you get from that is Christina doesn't mean pests. There's clearly something else going on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a rat problem, clearly. But there's not enough context for that to know really what's
I
up.
just like looks
Apart
at
from obviously
the wall. Looks
the
at
issue is Chad has done something to annoy or frustrate or
Yeah.
upset Christina. It's basically just
Okay. Chad.
Yeah,
Like-
Yoo-hoo.
Chad sort of carried on following, so he's probably not
Yeah.
that far behind.
Chad,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah,
going
okay, right. There are dead bodies. Messer agents were killed during that fire. They were inside the building and things, and things happened during that time. I just want to know what we suggest that we collectively do about the fact that there are dead bodies, regardless of how they died, or
Oof.
anything like that, or the condition of
Right,
their
we'll come
bodies.
to that
They
later.
are Messer agents who are dead. That's literally it's a purely pragmatic question about how would one go about dealing with that.
A question for Adam.
Yep.
Tony is a cleric,
Uh-huh.
which is kind of like effectively a priest, right? Can
Yeah.
Tony conduct a funeral?
I mean, probably.
It's not in the ceremony spell. I checked.
No, but I can argue something. I mean, probably in your previous role, when you were, attached to an abbey, you probably rolled out for some similar kind of functions. You probably didn't run them necessarily, as you were almost there as a blessing in of itself. But you could definitely run them.
Nice.
Like you could recite the words. I'll make you do maybe a check to see how well you do at it. But
That's okay.
yes, you could run them.
Well, the people, Chad. So, we can bury them.
We bury any of the ones that were in the train tunnel?
No,
Have we buried anyone that we've killed so far?
I haven't. Well, these are the only people we've killed. So,
That is true. I forgot that for a second.
the ones in the tunnel, it's fair, but we didn't really have we couldn't really carry bodies of quite. They're in our building. We have to. What did you have something else in mind, Chad? They're people. The people that maybe had
Yeah,
families,
yeah,
right?
people who are trying to kill us, who are
Yes. But they're dead now, so then they're not trying to kill us now.
Yeah.
We don't need to be.
I just want to.
Do you have an
I'll
alternative?
be completely honest. I just want to make sure that there are no more dead bodies around anywhere near us that can. One, it's unsanitary. First off, two, it's evidence. I'm sure that there'd be all that type of stuff. You just need to no longer have. We're obviously not going to officially announce that we've killed people.
No.
So we just need to no longer have these bodies hanging around.
He's gonna kind of sigh and go, Chad. You're right, but we also could have avoided this by not killing people in the first place. Do you have an alternative
You want me to
burying?
not kill people who are trying to kill me and capture you and I, in a burning building?
You didn't have to. I'm just saying you didn't have to kill so many. I understand some is necessary,
It's
right?
only
Self-defense,
3.
right? 3 and the ones in the underground tunnel and the person you tortured. Yes, I heard about that.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Included in the
Tavinos.
3.
You tortured somebody who was Look, we can talk about this later, and we should, because we don't. But sometimes we have to kill people in self-defense. Yes, but we could bury them. What did you have an alternative? You're not giving me anything to work with. What do you want to do with them? I would like to bury them.
Move them under cover of darkness, either into some form of secret impromptu grave, or a watery one. Bodies must end up in the river. Fairly
Anybody will
often.
float, right? Like
Oh, a dead body. Would a dead body float?
they'll float if you don't tie them down because they get air. Basically, they get air inside
Gas.
them and they float, which is why you have to weigh them
Or
down.
we
Nice.
can
We're
weigh them
gonna-
down.
No, we could just bury them.
Okay,
do a
but secretly. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
At night.
I'm not saying we should announce. I'm just saying we should do our bit by funerals don't have to be big. Don't have to get whoever knew them, but we should try to make sure they pass over.
Pebbles
and they
gonna.
have the ceremony and so they can go on to Solisteria, or I hope Solisteria.
On that, can I'm just gonna do a little religion check for Chad. I just want to just for my own sake.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a
And does-
natural 20. So
Wow.
Chad's gonna have like a moment of just being like, just remembering
Enlightened.
my friend that I'm talking to now is a godling.
Yeah.
Like just sort of going back in context, be like,
Yeah, it's just
yeah, no, you are right. Yeah, no, actually, yeah.
You are God. I mean,
Yeah,
right.
let's
I
do,
mean, both.
let's do the right thing.
Yeah, imagine for Chad what it is
But
the moment of.
the right thing for the wrong people.
Ah.
Imagine for Chad is like especially under duress and stress, you fall back on like following the teachings of your father, who is the an authority
Yeah,
figure
it's
you have
like-
followed, throughout all your life, tried to make him proud, tried to do what he teaches you, and there's this moment of Tali is effectively another authority figure in your life, and there's in these moments you suddenly go, oh yeah, oh yeah, you're someone else I should be listening to.
Well, it's also like Tali is a religious figure for
Yeah,
the religion
but that's
that,
what I
that
mean. Like,
Chad was raised on. It's kind of like
there's
probably I should be
following what
listening
your
to that.
father has taught you, and then if an angel turns up and tells you to do something else, you're probably
like,
gonna
what?
go, okay, the angel might actually have a point.
Yeah.
Charlie will say, look, Chad. Yes, they were bad people, and yes, they tried to kill us, and yes, we may have had to kill some in self-defense. But in death, we are not the ones to judge them. They will be judged. That's not our job. It's not our right. We just need to send them on their way. It doesn't matter who we are. In death, we're all equal. We're dead.
Cool.
And power. Yeah, it will be sorted out. It's above us.
As soon
Come on,
as Chad and Tali agree that a funeral is gonna happen, Pebbles isn't gonna rush trying to find Christina. In
Okay,
the
do you
middle
want
of
to
the
find
night.
Christina?
Like, tell her, Christina, it's okay. We're gonna.
Yeah.
Well, come to that in a second.
Trying to
What are you
console
gonna say,
Christina.
Will?
Chad, I'm genuinely asking. Had Chad killed people before the
Ooh.
events of this campaign?
I think that's entirely up to you, sir. I'm not deciding that for you. You tell
Charlie
me.
is also going to say like.
Or you don't have to say it out
yeah.
loud, but that's for you to
Yeah,
decide.
I just want to know.
Yeah, Talia is going to say to Pebbles to get Christina so they can all talk
Mhm.
as a group. There are some
Yeah.
things.
You can always flip a
discuss.
coin if you're not sure, Will.
Oh, yeah, flip a coin for
Like an
whether-
odd even on a dice.
Flip,
yeah, I'd
flipping
say
a coin
keep it
for
to yourself,
mother
but-
trauma.
Yeah.
We need to talk. It seems like
Yeah.
Chad, come on, we need to talk.
Cool.
So you,
Pebbles
Pebble, you go find Christina.
Trying to find Christina. What do I roll for
Yeah.
that?
Would Christine, where would you have gone? Would you have run away from the pub? Or would you have gone like back to your room or something?
Stormed out the pub and like
Wander around the streets.
taking like some lefts and rights.
Yeah, but kind of aimlessly, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah. So you Pebble, you do catch up to Christina easily enough for the sake of narrative.
Oh,
So you find her.
hello. Are you okay? Are you upset? I'm sorry. We're gonna organize funerals for all the dead bodies. It's gonna be fine. For all the dead people. Sorry, I shouldn't have said bodies.
I'm sure they'll be buried with dignity. Just gonna keep walking, like so. Pebble, you've got to keep pace.
But do you want? I'm not sure if I'm welcome here. I mean, do you want me? Where are you? Where are we going?
Just gonna keep walking. Like, Christina is not interested in anything anyone has to say. It's all kind of accumulated at this
Yeah.
point.
I mean, I don't know. This is like outside character, but yeah, this is the thing, right? Like, what's worrying me about this situation is that Christina doesn't know that it was Chad that eventually killed from Christina's
Nobody
eyes.
does that.
From Christina's eyes, it might as well have been her spell
Yep.
that killed. So yeah, that must be
I
like
mean,
really
also-
overwhelming.
Pebble,
Oh.
like you also aren't really sure of the situation. Like you don't know that Christina cast magic. You know that this agent was tortured. So you've picked up. You don't know what's
I don't
happened.
know. Pebble doesn't know this, like
Yeah, I'm
any
just
of
saying.
this. I'm just that was outside character. Pebble understands that. I mean, I don't know if I have to roll anything, but so Christina's overwhelmed.
I guess
Pebble-
maybe what to kind of cut through some of this is that Pebble, are you going to try and comfort Christina, or are you going to
Definitely.
leave her to have her space?
Oh, that's a difficult one. But if there's anything that I've learned, Christina, is that we're here for each other. I mean, I completely understand that maybe you don't want to talk to anyone now. But last time we split the party, that very bad stuff happened. So I'm not gonna let go. I'm sorry. There might be people still looking for us. We just have to stick together. Please.
So you're kind of like you are following pace. Like I guess at a
Yeah.
distance, maybe be a bit respectful of
Yeah,
Christina,
yeah.
but like you are conscious of things that are going on, and
Mm.
I imagine also that there is a bond between you now because the thing
Yeah.
on your arm, whether you blame her or not, is caused by Christina. So there is a bond between you in that sense as well.
Yeah.
Do these weird words, do they reach Christina, or are you just going to continue?
I don't know.
That's I'm asking. Verity, do they reach?
Yeah, yeah.
I think what's going through Christina's head is that it's not like in the beginning she had some accidents
Mhm.
with her magic. She thought she was getting grip of things,
Mm.
but it seems like if she's got the impression that everything is her fault, like
Yeah.
Pebbles are like her fault, or like Pebbles' arm is her fault. The torture is her fault because she didn't take it seriously. Like this kind of, again, this like trying to be positive, be like carefree attitude is very much at odds with reality of a situation. Which at first it was just like, oh, it's just like a couple of bad guys and then weapons and stuff. But then there's like this whole meta agent, like Chad sort of trying to declare war.
Yeah.
Like it's all just a bit like, on top of like trying to make sense of the magic, it's all just not making sense.
Yeah. Okay. As those thoughts are going through your mind, roll me an insight check, and I'll explain why in a second.
Or
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So you are going through these minds, these thoughts, and actually, Pebble, I'll have you roll an insight check as well.
Mhm.
See if you pick up on something. You might be able to come at this from a different angle.
16.
16. Okay. So let's start with Christina. Yeah, these things are going through your mind, like you're struggling with your magic. Like you there was a time that the first incident with you killed that Nervin by accident. Then you accidentally obviously used vampiric touch on this agent during a torture that you would maybe taken too easy. Because you didn't go to Auntie when you were supposed to, Pebble was suffering. And all these thoughts are going through your mind, and I guess maybe you're starting to wonder if you're almost a danger to your own party.
Mm.
Chad's going off on some war, which that's going crazy. Pebble, you start to kind of recognize that some of these thoughts that Christina was going through, some of these motions, you can see it in the way she won't even try to look at you as you're walking. You start to get this feeling that she maybe is blaming herself and is struggling with the magic and things like that. And you empathize because you are also someone who struggles with magic. Like you are literally red. You are now a completely different creature to you were a week ago. And you feel like, although Christina hasn't clicked in her head that maybe you're one person she could confide in, but you feel like you need to try and break through a barrier there because you are in a very similar boat to she is. You have this uncontrollable magic that is doing things and beyond your power to control right now. So there is a bridge between you, if only you can kind of make her aware of that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna... Oh, I have so many ideas for this. Well, Pebble is quite fast-paced, right? Like, he can be, like, very quick at times.
Yeah.
So he's gonna... Without, stopping her or anything, he's just gonna try to make Christina aware of, like... Can you please look at me for 1 second? None of this is your fault. Don't blame yourself for things that you might be, attached to. This is your aunt. This is not you. I didn't choose to be like this either. I didn't choose to poison to death like someone underneath the tunnel. We just, it's life is hard, but it's it's better when you share that hardship with someone, and I'm here. I don't want to be invisible. And then I cast gaseous form. No, sorry. Imagine. And I don't want you to feel like you have to be invisible either. Pebble is very nervous. Pebble's like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
Where do I go?
I'll say for Christina, I won't do a roll this time because I think there's a powerful narrative moment happening here. But in this moment, when like Pebble kind of walked in front of you and saying, "Please look at me," it does dawn on you, like, for all the worries you have about using magic out in public, Pebble now is a magical creature, a hobgoblin, who is standing in the middle of the street trying to kind of connect to you
Yeah, connection.
over this shared suffering. Like, Pebble's put himself in a kind of dangerous situation to try and find some common ground with you.
Where's your hat?
I don't know.
My
I must have left
raise.
it. My hat. I must have left it somewhere. Those
Oh,
just
can
gonna.
I
Oh no,
do-
he forgot his hat.
Can I do a investigation check for a stationery shop
Oh,
Absolutely,
or like
yes.
a clothing shop?
Yeah, investigation
milliner.
perception.
Pebble is just like
21.
taken aback. Oh,
21.
wow.
So you're not, unfortunately, you're not like in a sort of a shopping district right now.
Oh.
Like, you do know where some are; they're a little whiles off. But looking around, you do find what looks like a washing line that's been hung out between one of
Oh.
the houses, and clipped onto that there is a like a kind of like one of those sort of soft felt hats,
Oh, neat.
okay, almost like a bit Renaissance in style. But you see one of those in like a dark color.
I'm gonna grab it and put it on Pebble's head.
And then what?
His hat is quite big, and like you have to like tuck the ears into it. It does fit because it's quite a big head. You have this kind of like bowl, kind of soft felt bolt hat now sitting on your head.
Yay!
Thank you. But this
You're
doesn't
going
mean.
to Moorgrave Manor now.
Also,
I'm
can I would,
sorting this out.
Oh. Oh,
Tali did mention to Pebble to get everyone back to the pub so that they could.
yeah,
But,
but
that's, you don't have to do that if you don't want to do it.
one second. Does Pebble know that? Who was there when Ikrador requested for the entire party to be there?
No,
on
I'm
Morgan?
just Christine.
No, just Christina.
So Pebble
But
is
I will
like,
say, what you can we can morph what you said there, Christina. Like, we're going to Mulgrave Manor now. Is we can morph that into you're going to go get the rest of the party, and you're going to Mulgrave Manor now.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
I
I
meant.
think
yeah.
Christine's a little bit on the warpath anyway, so I think you can just come in and go, fuck dinner, we're going. We're sorting this out. So
I go like, okay, yeah, let's go get the rest. Good. Everything is.
you guys, the thing is, the way you can be walking ambling, you've kind of been going around in circles. So actually, although you've been walking for maybe sort of 15, 20 minutes, you're only about 3 minutes away from the pub because you just sort of like left, right, left, right, right, left,
Right.
left. So you just can now beeline back to the pub. And
Nice.
you come in through the door. You could smell the waft
The
of
bodies?
hot
Oh,
roast
sorry.
turkey cooking from the kitchens as you come in. But you see Chad and Tali sort of. You would have just finished your discussion as you two return.
Neat.
Right, so bodies buried. Fine. What about Pebble's arm?
We'll
No
go.
one is
We'll
going
go.
now.
Well, no,
now.
hang on. Yes, we will, but I think we need to talk about something because we just need to talk about it today because I saw so much death from us, and I just think, Pebble, you killed Chad, Christina, maybe
Thank
you tortured somebody. I don't. Tali doesn't understand where this streak has come from, and I just wanted to talk about it as a group.
Let me just.
And then we'll go to Mulgrave Manor. Absolutely.
Torture is a very, very strong word. Christina and I conducted an interrogation that had a very unfortunate end. There was very, very little pain involved.
And how did they die?
I killed them.
Why? Also, how? What? But why? More important.
No, Chad, no. Something happened, and I killed them.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Is this
no.
why you walked off just now?
I did something
I brought
And
them
they
back.
were dead.
They were not dead. You did not kill them. I killed them. The fact that they had gone through whatever it is that you did to them
What did...
accidentally, inadvertently made them more compliant. And the only choice that I had, well, there must have been many choices, but I made the executive decision that it was not a good idea to leave that person living. And as we now know, they very likely would still have been connected to whatever network that Edvard is still connected to.
Well, that's
as
how
far as
you
we know.
justify it, huh?
Okay, this is really fun.
Christina, you did
it
not
was-
kill that person.
I took
I killed
their
them.
life force.
Not all of it.
They were weaker, and I got stronger. That's not right. That's not how. That's not right.
Was it a magic? Like, did you use magic and that's what happened?
I don't know. I didn't try and use magic.
I was gonna try to, well, break the ice by saying like, well, not break the ice, but it's just like, not put like not share the spotlight either. But I was just gonna be like, well, we've all made mistakes. I mean, magic is very difficult
It is.
to handle, and I didn't know. I mean, I didn't even think. It's not like in my. I don't know in your case, Christina, but it's. Well, I don't want to aggravate the situation either, but it's not like I thought like, oh, you know what would be a great idea to poison this person to death. It's just not how it works. I can't explain it.
It just happened.
Yeah, and I don't want it to happen anymore.
Okay, good. This is progress.
I mean, I do want magic. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Magic doesn't have to be dangerous. It doesn't have to cause harm. It can be good. Right? We've all seen that. Accidents do happen, and magic is uncontrollable, and sometimes training is how you get better control. I just want to know, are we the kind of people who want to murder everybody? I mean, Chad, how many people did you kill in that base? Did they all need to die? Could you have? Why? They're people. They're people who chose the wrong path. They were just minding their business. They weren't directly, most of them we killed before they even knew we were there. They're defenseless. They're mixed up with the wrong people. They deserve a second chance.
They would have killed us if they had seen us.
But they didn't have to.
They would not have shown us.
That's why you knocked them unconscious. We let those two people go, and they were happy to go, to have another chance at life. We don't know how they got there. Maybe they don't want to work with them. Maybe they have no choice. Maybe they're trapped. We don't know this because...
Maybe I appreciate your point, Tali. We must also be open to the idea that some people are just bad. Not everyone can be redeemed. Not everyone is asking for help.
That doesn't mean we shouldn't.
You will have to take it on. Yeah. Self-defense is obviously one that hands up here. Who has taken a life before we all met earlier this week?
Oh.
Brass puts his hand
Brass
up.
definitely
But,
raises
yeah.
Brass's hand is that.
Oh, that's a moment.
Brass doesn't looks weird about the question. Like, of course I've taken her life.
Yeah.
Wait, have I technically 1 second? No. Okay.
Not that you're aware of.
Not like creatures or animals,
Yeah.
but like a sentient life.
Wow.
Listen,
Animals are
Wow.
sentient.
you are my friends. You are people I trust, and we haven't known each other for all that long, but there are times, there are points in life where it is either a case of you kill or you are killed.
Yes.
Combat happens, the heat of combat happens, self-defense, aggression. These, I don't have a problem with it. Sometimes the context, certainly you have a very good point. Clearly, we take it on faith that the two that we let go were just mixed up with the wrong crowd. I can give you my word that the one that that Christina, that again you did not kill. I can give you my word that that was not a messer agent who was mixed up in the wrong crowd. That was they were very, very pleased to be doing what they do.
Yeah.
And in the case of, call it war, call it conflict, call it whatever, we signed up to help people, and sometimes it gets dirty.
Yeah, sometimes it does. But again, it doesn't mean we have to default to that option every time
Yeah, well,
without trying anything else.
What about the people on the tunnel? That's like big trauma, isn't it? Sorry.
People who are bad, right? They care about themselves. Take Splint. He gave us lots of information because he wanted to save his own skin. There are ways to get people to make agreement, right? It's not. I'm not saying we have to take their word, like. And I'm not saying we shouldn't kill anybody. I'm just saying it shouldn't be the default. It shouldn't be our default. Not always. Not with people. With the creatures, animals, wild animals that attack us, that's slightly different. But people who are just unloading some cargo, did they deserve to die? If they had families, did their kids deserve to lose their parent? Did their parents deserve to lose their kid? Who are we to make that choice, right? If we don't have to. I just don't want us to go and murder everybody we see, everybody who is in the vague area of on our path to whatever we're.
Right, Charlie. It's not who you are, but what you do.
Indeed.
You don't deserve to suffer such pain if you're just unloading cargo or trying to save your own skin. What about the people who do bad things? Like what's on Pebble's arm? That's pure manipulation. My aunt has done.
I mean, does that deserve
that
death?
Jenny Adler? Pure
Yeah.
manipulation. Try and get what she wants. We don't know what she wants. She clearly went out of her way to deceive us. I'm not saying these people should die, but they should be brought some sort of justice. We can't sympathise with everyone. Seeing that not everything is positive, good anymore. I can do is not good.
I agree. I take everybody's point. I think it is naive to think that we could have been as effective as we were, and that we would have got out of the situation that we were in down in that tunnel without the use of and the style of the force that we used. I think it is naive to think that there is always going to be a peaceful, non-lethal solution.
Just saying we should try. If we kill indiscriminately, if that's our default, if that's our comfort zone, we're no better than the people than the messes.
I agree.
I will say, Chad, you do need to control your bloodlust a little bit.
Oh. Yeah, we already know it. Yeah.
I am a vampire. I mean, come on.
You're not a vampire yet, Chad.
Not that bloodlust. Your need to kill people. Like the one we interrogated.
And Brask as well.
That did not need to happen.
Brask is
Did
very
not
quiet.
need to assert your dominance, or like slit their throat, or watch them bleed out to death for your own amusement, your own sense of superiority. Go ahead making me think I'd murdered someone.
It wasn't my intention to make you think that you'd cause that person's death. We hadn't had a chance to discuss it. I didn't even know that you knew, Yeah, until just now, didn't even know that you knew they were dead. Well, obviously, I literally showed you.
No, yeah,
So
I was gonna say
I
that.
thought I would have thought that the big hole in the neck with all the blood probably would have given it away that it wasn't exactly what you did to them.
Sorry.
But you know,
Don't skirt around this, Chad. Don't be, oh, I didn't know this and you didn't know that. You did it. That's what counts.
Polly just doesn't. We don't need to put unnecessary suffering in the world, right? People are suffering everywhere. You killed someone. You healed them just to kill them again. That seems unnecessary.
situation was a flexible one. Things were happening, and things were changing at every single moment.
I'm just saying, going forward, can we just try sometimes a peaceful, a non-lethal resolution to situations with people, with other groups?
Right. You will have to take it on faith, I suppose. Christina, I don't know what your recollection is of the interrogation. It was extremely clear that there was no way for there to be a peaceful resolution. Either that particular agent, either we kept them locked up forever, or they were put out of their misery and they were removed from the equation and they couldn't cause any more harm. There is a...
I mean, there are bargaining chips, Chad. We negotiate. The messes want that person back, we want them to stop bothering us. There's always other options, there's always other things.
We
They're
don't
important, huh?
negotiate with the messes.
Why not?
The messes cannot be negotiated. Just... that's not how they operate.
In this
Who
moment
wants
of kind of
dinner?
awkward silence, you hear a ding ding ding, like,
Yeah.
food's ready! You hear shouting from the other room.
Thanks, Romeo. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Great.
Um,
I'm not saying it at all. I'm
and
saying
we
just try.
silently have dinner.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I imagine it's the most awkward dinner
Yeah.
ever.
Let's
Like,
just
Rudyard's
eat.
just like smiling, like, so what does everyone think? And there was
We're
just kind of like,
yes.
It's good.
Yes,
you see Bachard like try to eat as best as he can, tiredly.
Oh.
Brass just devours food because obviously none of this emotional stuff has kicked in at all.
Right.
It is the most like proper like argument at Christmas kind of dinner.
Oh boy.
This banquet of a feast being put forward and none of you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Can I
'Cause-
change that slightly?
Go on.
And once dinner's been announced, I'm just gonna go for a long rest in the amulet.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You
8
can't have a
hours?
long rest because it will take 8
Oh,
hours,
can I?
but you can go to
Oh,
the amulet
okay.
instead.
Cool.
You can have a short
I'll-
rest in the amulet if you wanted. I was going to suggest
it
dinner
does-
would count as a short rest for everyone else, if that's
is-
relevant.
It's the only way to get some spell slots back to do a long rest.
Not as a warlock. As a warlock, you get back on a
Oh,
short
yeah.
rest.
Oh,
So
Oh.
Yeah.
nice.
whether
That's
you
weird.
come to dinner or go to the amulet, either way, you're going to get your spell slots back on the short rest because it's a short rest.
I'm gonna be
regardless.
petty and go in the amulet.
Fair enough.
One second,
Do
one
you-
second. Yeah.
Do you be petty that you go and grab food
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what
take it into the amulet with you?
that's what I was gonna say.
I mean, it's been a long day, so probably.
Because I'm
okay.
assuming,
There-
how does it work? That
There's
whatever
gonna
you're
be like-
touching.
What food?
I like the idea that maybe you're going to go to the amulet like, and there's a gurgle in your stomach. You're like, so you come to the table.
It's like-
You feel like aggressively like stabbing like turkey onto your plate.
And now
And then
popped
you
out
just-
of the
just-
amulet.
You
Because,
walk
like,
out of the room so none of the like Rumyard sees you, and they just into the amulet.
Yes.
Although the amulet can bring out unlimited margaritas, if I remember correctly, but not
Yes.
Yeah,
food
you've had-
apparently.
You've
That
had
was even
margaritas in
better.
the amulet before. Anyway,
Not food. Yeah.
but yes.
Fantastic.
So an awkward dinner is had,
Yes.
regardless.
It is
But yes, you will have a
very
short
much
rest. So
had.
mark short rest on your character sheets
Oh,
if you
neat.
need to. If you need to roll for any hit dice or
I don't
Chad, I
remember
think
how
you
this
get some
works.
features back on a short rest typically. So
Yeah.
Let's see if I get any of mine back.
So what is the thingy? I can roll the dice if I want to recover HP with it.
If you want to recover HP, you can roll hit dice. So
Cool.
you'll have a certain amount available. I'll say in your character sheet, and you can roll them.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll a.
You can, yeah. If you're on D&D Beyond in the short rest
Ah.
menu, you can tick them and press the button, and it'll automatically apply it to your HP.
Cool.
Or you on D&D
And
Beyond.
how many? So the hit dice, do I recover once per long rest, right?
You recover up to half of them, half your total on a long rest.
Oh, so okay, use very sparingly. All right.
Yeah, so you want to use them somewhat sparingly, yeah. But if you need
Cool.
them, there's no harm in
You need
using
him,
them.
you need him, right? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, yeah. I'm gonna roll 2 hit die. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, so with the thing, like, if you use half or less than your total, you'll get those always back. You'll always be at max, so you can always do it that way if you're unsure.
Wait. I took.
You can use up to 3, for example, and then when you have a long rest, you'll get 3 back.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
You get half your total back.
Yeah.
on a long
No,
rest.
not half the expended.
No,
ones.
because then you never
Yeah.
get them back. If you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
half,
that
half,
would be.
half, half.
Yeah. No, but I marked 2 hit dice.
Mhm.
I hit
You
take
press the button.
take short rest, and I hit
But
confirm.
it should have popped up with a little thing to roll. Did
Yeah,
it do
you
that?
click how many you want, then you can roll it, and then you can.
Oh, I'm gonna try
Yeah,
again.
so if you have,
If
the,
not,
if you have
just-
the tick box to automatically apply, it automatically.
No.
If not, just roll 2d6 and we'll just add it manually.
Yeah, I have the tick box to automatically apply, but I did. Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
have
do
to
it manually.
click the two, like, there'll be a number of slots for the dice, like the number of squares. You click two.
I'll tell you what,
to
well,
use two.
D&D Beyond
Okay.
bugs out of it sometimes. Just roll 2d6.
It's fine,
and we'll
it's
figure it
done.
out.
It's done.
Done?
2d6 amounted to 6, so I've just.
Do you get any pluses? Because I get like it's one
You
d8
add,
plus 2.
you add your Constitution bonus as well.
Oh,
So that would be
Thank
8
you.
in total for you, Pebble.
all right.
Because
Neat.
you have a +1 to your Constitution, so.
Cool.
Oh,
Fantastic.
that's nice.
I
Cool.
feel
So,
healthy.
awkward dinner is had.
Yes.
Yeah, you see that, Rumna tries to strike up a conversation at a few points and it just falls kind of flat.
Yep.
Again, he
Yeah.
seems disappointed that no one seems to care what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, dinner is had.
Harley
Um,
will. So the orc lady, I don't remember her
Teog.
name. Teog.
Yeah.
Harley will explain the situation with the crates.
Yep.
The supply crates. To say like,
Oh yeah.
basically, we want to sell them. If we employ you and your people, could you, like, start to sort of shift them? I wanted this to be a background thing that we don't actually
Yeah.
have to do. We want to
Hmm.
keep some, give some away, and then sell.
Yeah.
Yes.
So really, it's keep some, sell some, and then we can divide them to give some away.
Yeah, okay. Let's just put it this way. What percentage do you want to keep? What percentage do you want to sell? A giveaway?
How much poverty is there in Delbridge?
A lot.
A lot.
Oh.
This is Victorian England, basically. London,
I mean, how many
so
crates are there? There's a shitload, right? Like, if,
There
is it-
are 10 platforms worth of crates. Like these
if
are
we sold
numbers
like
beyond me trying to figure it out.
60%,
Yeah.
and then kept 40%, and then split 20% and then 20% for our own stash.
That sounds.
I guess maybe a
useful.
better way out. What is the output you want to get from doing this? 'Cause I think we talked outside a session. We said about you could sell a certain amount and then use that as materials to do up the 5 fellows. That's
That would
viable.
be nice. It's probably.
What output do you want from this? That's a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
Do you want cold hard cash as part of this?
No, because I mean, if there's materials there that we can, use directly without having to sell and then buy the same materials anyway.
I mean, the 5 fellows is looking like a mess. Like,
Yeah.
rebuild it, but also maybe to get some additional security, like additional fortification on it, whatever
Yeah.
that means. Like, so it's a bit safer as well, and maybe like another exit or 2 or something. Like, so we have more options if something like that happens again.
Yeah.
Sort of
Kind
like a
of.
revamp
Yeah,
for
okay.
that. And then
Yeah.
keeping some so we have access to, like, if we're going outside the city, we don't necessarily have to go buy like rations or like equipment. We'll have a stash of equipment that we can then
Yeah.
use
Yeah,
to save
okay,
us money in the
so-
long run. And then also just helping the homeless because we want. That's Harley's. Like,
Yeah,
want,
okay.
to, want to
So-
help, want to improve the quality of life of the people who don't have.
Of those 3 things, give me a percentage for it. So percentage for doing up the 5 fellows.
I mean, 60%.
Percentage for keeping supplies available to you.
It kind of depends how much. Like 20% is that? Are we? I mean, feel free to input. Help me out. Like 20% for us, 20% for the poverty
But
people.
Chad's gonna be in character or out character. Chad's
Either.
gonna be
Both.
like
Bit of both.
probably very money centric. Pebble is gonna be like, yeah, abolish poverty. Everyone is rich now.
Great. This
Pebble
must
doesn't
be
have
a
the notion of
yeah, like 60, 20,
Well, he
20.
does.
Or yeah.
I mean,
But one of the 5 fellas would be nice, yeah.
we can just
Chad himself is just gonna, if he says anything, it's well, clearly I'm not, he's sulking a bit as well.
Yeah,
He's,
okay.
clearly I'm
'Cause,
not. But me, I think it's 60, 20, 20. So,
yeah, that sounds great actually.
Yeah.
I mean, we could play it like I mean, time wise, it's like we use however many crates we want to like revamp the place like directly with, and then what was remaining was the 60.
Yeah, but essentially that.
Yeah.
While we're also at the table,
I
Tali
think
will
that makes
divide up the
sense.
money that we found on Splint. So she's taken a cut for the emergency fund, and then everyone gets. She hands out like 185.4. I don't know what the 0.4 is going to be, but 185 seps each.
Wow, that's like a lot.
And then, but before she goes to chat, she's like, "Chat, are you gonna? We're
You're
still a
gonna be
team,
good.
right? We care about each other. I'm only, Are we
Yeah.
okay?"
Mhm.
And she's holding the money. She's like, "Are we okay?
We're okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, there's
that
your
doesn't
money."
seem very-
There's more that Chad wants to say, but there's
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What?
We're
How
okay.
many silver points is again?
184.
Jesus, we are filthy rich. 180 and
yeah.
184 points.
Well, at the 0.5, I don't know how to work out the 0.4. so I can't.
Copper,
It's
right?
184. Well, just 184 steps. Let's just do
Okay.
that.
How about the cart money?
Oh, sorry, 185 steps. Sorry. The cart money. Sorry, was so we had 100 back from the cart. I have just kind of put it in the sort of like the party fund. It's for us. If we want to buy equipment for people, we could use. That's coming quite along nicely. But we could. I mean,
That's where it
each
came
ship
out
will
of
only
anyway,
be.
isn't it?
It will only be like 20 something each. So I thought it would be. Save it.
I think in terms of money, so let's try and talk it out of session because we're coming to the end.
Yeah.
And I want to finish.
That's
this.
fine. I'm just
What I'll
saying she just
say-
like divides it up.
Yeah, sorry. What I'll say.
No,
what
Adam,
I'm
this is the
doing-
most stimulating thing for the audience. Completely.
Yeah, this is what this is.
really,
In
really.
terms of our financial situation.
The note to end on is how we split. Yeah. No, what I'm going to say was with the split the cargo. So 20% improvement pool, fine. 20% stock on supplies. That's great. I'll work out what that translates to.
Cool.
But that's basically will say you have enough food to travel for the next
Jesus,
10 times you go out or something like that.
for the
whatever it
next
is.
100 years.
And then for the 6% improve the 5 fellows, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away and I'm going to think up a list of potential improvements.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
And I'm going to come back to you with a shopping list, and in character we'll work out what you want to do. 'Cause
Yes.
there's options like you could try and make this into, again, a functioning pub, or you could turn this into a secret base with like an underground. Like there's loads of options we can do here, and I think we should explore
I
that.
can
so,
have a window in my room. I can
Yeah.
make a
Window.
window.
Oh my god.
so I will basically work out a system of like this is the building you've got, like very much video game, like which upgrades do you want to your building?
It's like The Sims. Oh,
Um,
when you play
yes.
architect in The Sims.
so I will figure that
Oh,
out.
I
for some
could
time.
make it in The Sims. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I was
We'll
thinking that.
come back
Anyway,
to that
in
at
any
some point,
case.
so I'll leave that with me. But anyway, you have your good dinner, you split some cash around, etc. Christina, you actually emerge an hour later, and yeah, I assume you're making your way to Mulgrave Manor. Okay.
Can I add one other thing, which is
Yes, you can.
while Pebble and Christina earlier were having their conversation, could I have just done a couple of extra things with the whole body situation?
Yep.
Let's see.
Which is either, and I would like Tali, Sarah would like Tali to help with this.
Great.
Either it's a case of moving the 2 burnt bodies into the basement, which is obviously where Splint is and where the other dead one is, or it's a case of tying up Splint where and replacing the Nira, but maybe seeing if there's any. I don't know. I don't want to get weird. I don't know what Nura would have on underneath the armor. If there is a way of sort of making it look a
What
little
armor do they
less
have? Just
different
asking.
to the other ones. Kind of make it
have-
look a little bit less separate to the other bodies.
So she was wearing kind of the armor, the coat itself counts as like a padded leather kind of armor. So sorry, you want to make her look different to the rest of the body?
No,
I mean-
similar.
Sort of similar, because obviously they're kind of obscured and charred and stuff. They're probably
Yeah.
not very identifiable. She is obviously very identifiable.
yeah.
So you could potentially try and get some sort of like the thing about her, like regardless of the armor and stuff, the grey mark on her makes her very identifiable. That obviously stands out a lot. But you could, get something from the kitchen to kind of like rub on her, like kind of cover up in that sort of sense. She's also lost a lot of color anyway from when she bled out. So
Spicy.
I think to not sort of bog this down too much further, you with the various things you have around the pub, you can achieve what you need to do. I don't want to dwell on this for hours and hours because you can do what you need to do.
Dad, what's in the bucket?
Say again.
What's in the bucket?
Oh, do you want to say?
What is it?
Okay, so this is
A little surprise.
Weird slug thing.
It's our new pet.
Yeah.
Do you lift up the bucket?
Yeah.
You lift up the bucket.
Yes.
Do you touch it?
And there's nothing there.
Oh.
Dad, what do you mean?
Interesting.
And you have this moment where you're looking around, and then you look inside the bucket, and you can see it's crawled its way like up the bucket and like stuck to the side of it like a slug.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's like inside the bucket.
Yeah.
And Tyler, you see this kind of like bloated, purple, greyish worm.
Oh, no.
That
Have I ever seen anything like that?
came out of her ear when she died.
You haven't seen anything like this, but
We
you
can put-
immediately
Yeah, it's
think this is a
Weasel.
Meisel worm. Yeah.
So,
Back under the bucket.
Can it hear us?
Chad literally does it.
Oh dear.
Shuts the
That's
bucket
just-
over.
Puts the
We
bucket back down.
can
Puts the thing on top.
Come back to this later.
Yay.
So in that case, we've replaced Nora with Splint. He's tied up down there, and we put Nora out with the other bodies in the alleyway.
But do we keep the bodies inside to then be able to take them out later to then like bury them? Or
Then we've
Either
left.
way.
Then we leave Splint in a
Put a
room full of
tarp
dead
over
bodies.
them.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Put a tarp over them for now.
Yeah. So all the bodies in the basement, and Splint's tied up there. Good.
Cool. You do that. You then make your way across town to Moorgrave Manor.
Yay.
I imagine for the group of you, it is a solemn walk, as Christina is
God, yeah.
taking the lead as she knows where you're going.
Yeah.
But there is obviously a heavy tension between the party.
Harley does have a
Hopefully.
question for Christina as we're going.
Mhm.
So, Christina, this is your aunt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but she's obviously quite a powerful magic user. Gestures towards Pebbles like that's pretty powerful magic. Do we need to be worried about anything? I don't know where this magic comes from, and I'm feeling a little nervous.
So Christina's like probably charging ahead because she's like gonna sort this woman out.
Just like
Not really. Like this is like a very valid point from Tali, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give her what for?
Well, okay. Do you know
Okay.
anything, anything specific about her?
All that I know that is that she wants to see me and supposedly wants to help me. She has, and I have questions because supposedly my grandma is not the person I thought she was.
Oh.
I'm not here to. I'm angry. I'm not here to challenge her. I'm here for answers.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sure she will give me because she wants me here so badly. Mr. Arm.
Charlie will just, if I don't know who this person is, I get she's your family, but Charlie could teach you magic and help you with your magic. Just, you don't necessarily have to, learn from her if you don't want to. Just leaving that with you. If you don't like the kind of magic she does, then Charlie could teach you.
I don't know what magic she does. All I know is the book. all I have. All the
It
magic
just
I've
mean,
gra-
she has magic like the magic thing on Pebbles' arm.
like I know what magic is out there. Like I've grown up with all sorts of magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how things function. But powers I've been gifted are just don't make sense to me.
Well, maybe you just haven't found like where they fit. You know, maybe you haven't found the use for them.
But the use for taking someone else's life force for myself.
Yeah, I don't. Tali doesn't. I don't. Just...
My aunt will hopefully know something. I think it's just gonna keep charging because it's like, Christina doesn't want to be challenged right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tali just
I
backs up.
got
I
this.
guess am I nighttime Tali at the moment? I don't know when.
Well,
probably.
this is what I was gonna say. I think
Probably just.
as this conversation draws to a close, there is a glow of these sort of runes across Tali's skin as they shift from their day form to their night form. The purple hair comes along, the darker skin, and the blue runes. And I think, as if matching the sort of pressure and tension within the group, there is a crack of thunder across the sky, and it's beginning to rain.
Beautiful.
As you arrive at these rusted, dark iron gates to Moorgrave Manor.
More grave. Sorry.
And Tali, you spot something that Christina hadn't when you last came here, as you have a higher passive perception than Christina. Just some ways into the sort of front yard, near the entrance, this large dark oak building, this very tall, imposing building, especially now in the sort of twilight and this sort of downpour that's coming quite quickly on. There is a sign that says Moorgrave Manor, Sanatorium for the Magically Inflicted.
Ooh! Oh no!
And
Okay.
that is where we'll end today's session.
What?
Oh shit! This gonna be bad. I don't want to be here.
It's
Fuck, man. That's
not just
oh,
a
no.
nice house.
Wow. Just wow.
Where is it? Where is this sign?
The moment your head is like tucked in just under some like really some bushes, like it's kind of overgrown. The building looks run down, as if it was shut down. But yeah, Tali, you spot that. Especially you, Tali, your more paranoid form of nighttime.
Like with all the fucking blue runes, like
Yeah.
tattoos, and I'm like, oh boy.
Is this the
Um,
kind of thing in like a film where you see the plaque and it's Moorgrave Manor and then like gust
The
of
wind
wind
blows.
I'm like the
blows
last
it
person to come in
away.
and just like, oh look, there's more. Oh no.
That is 100% what I'm
There's
going for
the-
here.
There's a neon sign with an arrow saying like all the magic people come here. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
So,
well,
thing that's
lovely.
I got my cloak back, by the way, from Helga.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good.
Yeah, 100%.
I might need it.
Things
Yeah.
are about to get very
There's
cloaky.
no magic here.
What a tense session, eh, guys?
It's fine.
Definitely just gonna be more tense next time.
Yep.
Oh, everyone's fallen out. I don't like it.
I kind of like it in a weird way.
I don't think
Just
you're
funny.
falling out. I think there's some disagreement between the majority of the party and Chad.
Yeah. This is true.
Sure, I'm sure if Ryan had been here, Brask would have
Yeah.
Brask would have
Sided with,
been a
yeah.
bit more Chad,
Brass would
Chad
have
centric.
backed you up in a bit, so it's not really. And we'll sort of imply that Brass has done that, but
Yeah.
Brass doesn't understand the gravitas situation, whether Ryan is here or not. That's how he would have played it. Um,
100%.
but I think it's interesting. And I think, yeah, Will, you're doing a very good job playing a character who is true neutral. So well done to you.
Oh, nice. So that's how true neutral feels like, huh?
True neutral is very much like you do what you do because you got to do what you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, it's just, yeah.
There's a
Choice.
yeah. Whereas I think the rest of you are good aligned, so that's where
Yeah.
you're much more aligned than we are. So
Yeah, but more.
I'd lean towards more like chaotic good.
Okay, I'm
Christina.
chaotic, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
I'm definitely chaotic. Yeah.
yeah, no, 100%. But
Cool.
no, I liked it. Very good. Some great
Yeah,
Very, very
role-playing
nice.
sessions.
Yes.
I would just like to say that I did I felt genuine discomfort.
Yeah,
throughout
oh my
a lot
god,
of
it
that.
was so, yeah, it was a sad
I had
moment.
to remind myself
Yeah.
I'm not Chad.
Yeah.
Verity, you're not Christina.
Will is a good
Verity
person.
is
Will is
not
a good
actually
person.
annoyed at you, Will. That's you're
Oh,
fine.
Oh.
what?
This is the me, an empath moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Will
once,
is a good egg. Chadronetius
yeah.
needs to learn about
He's
feminism.
just, yeah, yes.
Yeah,
True.
basically,
true.
yeah.
I really
Among
like
other
I
things.
was also I was just like Chad here talking about how people can't be redeemed. I'm like, really, Chad? Interesting. Really
Yeah,
interesting,
no,
Mr.
really
Cursed-
vampire.
Cursed Mr.
Yep.
Vampire.
Yep.
I also
yep.
liked. I don't know if you were.
It's that some people can't be redeemed.
I don't know if you were channeling this intentionally, Will, but you very much hit the mark on the, like, internet personality apologizing.
Yes, or politician. It doesn't matter.
Where you were telling Christina that
I
you like,
apologize if you feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I was
kind of
waiting
shit.
to see if Chad would say the word sorry to Christina at any point, and not
And
at
then
all. I
it's-
loved
yeah.
it.
Oh no, absolutely. There was Chad. I think particularly the last little bit of that conversation between Chad and Christina. Chad did not specifically address a couple of the things that Christina said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
So,
Yeah. Very.
fun, but,
Baby
yes.
steps. Tali's like,
Sneaky.
baby steps. We're gonna agree to sometimes not murder everybody. This is progress. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll get
Tali
there,
is just
we'll get
trying
there.
to get the right angle. We are just devastated. The rest of us are like, oh, yeah, fine.
Chad's on an interesting trajectory because I think the rest of you are good aligned, and I think unless something really catastrophic happens, you'll probably stay good aligned. Chad's in that place where you can go down,
I
or
can
you
fix
can
him
go up.
though. I can fix him.
Oh,
Ceremony.
what a dangerous
Oh.
attitude!
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Chad could
Gonna cure him.
very easily,
Become.
as you said,
Yeah.
he could go either way.
Going to regime Chad.
It's a little bit of,
Redeemed or
yeah.
not.
less powerful Thanos situation thing.
But yes, cool. Well, anyway, so yes, we will pick up with the sanatorium for the magically afflicted.
Yes.
This time.
Yes.
Everything sounds very sanitary. I mean, sanitary. I don't know where I was going.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, you had the inspiration token and you didn't use it this session, so
No, I
we'll
didn't.
carry that over,
Yes.
which is
I'm
fine.
hoping, yeah, I
Yay.
might need it.
Which is, I think, is actually the
will need
right
it.
decision because I don't know how you decide who gets in this session, honestly.
Well, I thought it was some amazing, like everything everybody liked.
Oh.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know how you
Like, we
could
had
dish
some
it
really
out.
great
So.
like spotlight moments. So I think I was kind of sad. I was like, oh, I wish I could give it to somebody, but I also
It's
wanted
fine.
for the.
You don't have an honorary inspiration
I
token.
think maybe it's hard between Christina and Unai. I think like because
Oh.
joint first because Christina's great like being annoyed with Chad and like stalling off like sticking to characters' values was really nice and really interesting. But then Pebble also for bringing her back and like telling her she didn't have to do it all alone. Very nice.
That was lovely. That was
Very
really
sweet.
lovely.
So
Thank
good
you
job
very
with both
much.
of you.
I'm glad I could give you a hat.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm glad
thank
I
you.
have a hat now. Yay. Hat time.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. So yeah.
Alright.
And to everyone watching, thank you for watching us, and I hope you enjoyed this session. A lot of great character moments. I love this zone because I mostly was a spectator myself this session.
I liked it.
It's a great experience as a DM when your players can just run with stuff and just talk in character about in character things and world things. And you use DM go, I don't have to say anything now. I just get to watch. So I enjoyed watching today, which is great. But everyone else, if you did enjoy watching us, you can find us again here in 2 weeks' time. If you follow us and turn on notifications, you'll know when we go live. And if you want to watch this session, it will be on YouTube in next weekend. And hopefully I'll remember to actually put it live on the weekend instead of what I did last time, which is put it live on Friday. And then our last session is live as well, as I say.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find us on Twitter if you want to see us tweeting about things, find out when we're going late or missing our videos, etc. But that's it. So
Yay.
we've been Small and Mighty, and we will see you next time.
Be good.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Laters.